Fox Sports.
Well, the Halos picking up the victory last night against the Baltimore Orioles. Now have won 2 consecutive games. Tonight it's game 2 of the 3-game set from the foes of the American League East. Hi, everybody, from inside the Big A. We welcome you back to Angels Baseball here on Fox Sports West. I'm Victor Rojas, along with my partner, Mark Gubiza. Last night we saw a terrific pitching performance by Dan Herod. Tonight, Mike Scioscia has to go to the bullpen, bring back a starter, former starter for the Angels, Joel Pinheiro, trying to kind of figure things out for himself, especially with that sinker.
Yeah, Victor, the other day he finally seemed like he got back to that power sinker down in the strike zone. He took a little bit more off his break ball to have better breaks to that pitch, too. Against Texas, 3 punch-outs in his 3 innings, no walks, worked downhill with a tremendous sink, and, of course, over top with the breaking ball. His ability to be able to change speeds with those pitches and work down should be very effective against this Baltimore club. It's very aggressive. You can start on the corner and work off, and they need that type of spot in the rotation right now. With the top 3 guys have been absolutely outstanding. You know you get a great chance of winning there. It's been that 4th and 5th spot. It's been a problem for the Angels. Pinheiro, we saw last year, and of course the beginning part of this year, has that ability to be dominant when he has the confidence. Hopefully after that last time I mentioned against Texas, the confidence is there, working down, throwing strikes, and getting a lot of ground ball outs.
You mentioned picking up the back end of the rotation, Pinheiro tonight. Jerome Williams going tomorrow. Tonight, though, Pinheiro will be facing Tommy Hunter, the former Texas Rangers. The Angels' offense was clicking last night, especially with the long ball. Hopefully they can continue that here tonight, looking for their 3rd consecutive victory. We're just about ready for baseball here at the Big A, so sit back and relax. We've got lineups and first pitch when we return. The Hyundai Assurance Trade-in Value Guarantee. See your Hyundai dealer for details. By CarMax. Now more than ever, the smart choice is CarMax. And by Powerade Ion 4. Focus, hustle, hydrate, believe. Gorgeous shot from high above this beautiful facility. The Angels and the Baltimore Orioles getting ready to tangle in game number 2 of this 3-game set. Right away, we'll get you the lineup for Buck Showalter and the Battling Birds. The Orioles 47-75 in last place in the American League East. Have J.J. Hardy leading things off at shortstop. Nick Markakis in right field. Adam Jones, the center fielder. Vladimir Guerrero, the cleanup hitter at DH. Matt Wieters, the switch-hitting catcher, will bat fifth. Mark Reynolds is over at first base. Robert Andino at second. Nolan Reimold in left. And Josh Bell bats ninth and will play third base. The exact same lineup that Showalter ran out there last night. That lineup last night racked up 12 hits in the 8-3 loss. And tonight it's Joel Pinheiro towing the slab.
Big thing, work downhill, get a lot of ground balls, utilize that great defense of the infield for the Angels.
First pitch is in there for a strike against J.J. Hardy, who went 2 for 5 last night, including a double. His 20th of the year. The Halos with their victory last night, with Texas winning at Chicago, remain 6 back in the West as that pitch catches the inside corner. It's quickly 0-2. Pinheiro, having pitched out of the bullpen of late, done a nice job working out of there last time. Just a couple of days ago against Texas as Hardy grounds out to start the ball game. Let's take a look at the defense that will be playing behind Pinheiro. Mike Trout at left, Peter Borges in center, Torrey Hunter is at right. In the infield, it's Alberto Callasco, Eric Ibar, Howie Kendrick, and Mark Trumbo around from third to first. Conger behind the dish.
And Eric Ibar has been so good defensively at that shortstop position. Should be very active in the game tonight with Pinheiro with that sinking fastball. Tremendous at home. Just 2 errors. And able to be involved in 78 double plays turned this season.
There's Nick Markakis, the right fielder, looks at a fastball for a strike. Markakis went 1 for 4 last night, including a couple of strikeouts against Dan Herron. A 287 average, 13 driven home, 57 runs batted in. 13 home runs, pardon me, 57 runs batted in. So he swings through that pitch, and it's no balls and 2 strikes. Mentioned on the pregame show on Angels Live that Pinheiro had faced the Baltimore Orioles, and that was back on July the 23rd at Camden Yards. Took the loss, giving up 3 runs, scattering 11 hits, 5 1/3.
A lot of strikes thrown so far from Pinheiro. On 6 pitches, all in the strike zone with some good movement also.
That pitch just missing outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Hank Conger back behind the plate. Called up a couple of days ago. Bobby Wilson got the start last night. Hank slated to get the start tonight, tomorrow as well. As Markakis grounds one to short. Ibar has a long way to go. High throw and pulls Trumbo off the bag. And so Markakis will reach on what we believe to be an infield single. Well, man on with 1 out and Adam Jones coming up.
Coming in on the baseball. Markakis runs very well. Forced Ibar to rush his throw. High throw. If a good throw, he may be able to get him at first base. Elevated that throw, and Trumbo tried to foot down in time, but unable to do so.
Markakis does get credit for an infield single. He's on board for Adam Jones, the center fielder, with 1 for 3 yesterday with 2 runs batted in, had a couple of sac flies, swings first pitch and lines to the left. That pitch a little bit high in the strike zone. And Baltimore has 2 base runners on here, the first with 1 out, and Vladdy coming up. Mentioned those 3 relief outings for Pinheiro, the last coming the 15th. That was the game in which Garrett Richards left the game early with that groin strain. Pinheiro pitched 3 innings of relief, gave up 3 runs, 3 hits, pardon me, no runs, striking out 3 and walking nobody. Even had an inning in which he struck out the side. swinging first pitch. Guerrero rolls it foul on the first base side. It's no balls and a strike.
One thing we know about Vlad, if he hits the ball on the ground in an infield, there's a good chance of getting a double play out of it. And Pinheiro, when he's on his game, he gave up the infield hit, but that next pitch, Adam Jones was elevated. He's got to stay down below the knees against Vlad.
That is lined into right field, a base hit. Markakis is being waved around. Here comes a throw from Torii Hunter. Markakis is out at the plate. Torii Hunter with yet another outfield assist. Got to the baseball quickly. The question was that two-hopper going to get there just ahead of Markakis? For some reason, you typically see the baseball skip to the catcher from the infield grass. This one kind of checked up just a little bit.
Boy, he charged it extremely well. Very aggressive and accurate throw. You're right, it slowed down on the grass. It looked like he was going to have him by a lot. Nice job by Hank Conger, not only fielding that throw, but in position to be able to tag Markakis as he comes in sliding hard at the plate. 12th outfield assist for Torii Hunter. Great job blocking the plate.
No question about it. Cut off the angle on Markakis. Takes the shin guard to the knee. Here's Matt Wieters with runners at first and third. Jones ended up at third base. 3 consecutive hits for Baltimore, but there are 2 outs now.
Well, that is textbook Mike Scioscia way of blocking the plate. Be able to put that left knee out to prevent the angle for the guy coming sliding in for third, forcing him away from the plate.
Wieters rolls over this one over to Howie Kendrick. That will end the inning. No runs, 3 hits, a man thrown out at the plate, and 2 left on. We hit the bottom of the first with Peter Borges, Alberto Castro, and Bobby Abreu to face Tommy Hunter. And to get to that play, no score. Take a look at Mike Scioscia's lineup. Terrific defensive play by those 2 guys. Peter Borges leading things off in center field. Alberto Castro at third base. Bobby Abreu is the DH tonight after pinch hitting and sitting out most of the game last night. Torii Hunter, the cleanup hitter in right field. Mark Trumbo's at first. Howie Kendrick, the second baseman. Eric Ibar will bat 7th to play shortstop. Mike Trout moves from right to left tonight. He'll bat 8th, and doing the catching and batting 9th is Hank Conger, taking on the 25-year-old now Indiana native by the name of Tommy Hunter.
Yeah, Tommy Hunter, pretty good fastball, 91 to 95. Cut fastball, 87-90. Throwing a lot more cut fastballs than straight fastballs. Curveball, slider, changeup. He's had his troubles in his career against the Angels. 1-4 with an ERA just barely under 9 at 8.87.
Tommy Hunter and Chris Davis coming over from the Texas Rangers in the trade for Koji Uehara. The first pitch is in there for a strike.
He's 1-3 as a starter with an ERA at 8.31, so out of the bullpen not much better. He's had his troubles getting the fastball down.
That pitch is down and away, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike on Peter Borges, who has a 6-game hitting streak. 3 for 5 last night in the leadoff spot with a single, a double, and a home run. 1 RBI and a stolen base last night. The average up to 278. A little bit high, and it's 2-1. Tommy Hunter, originally a supplemental first-round pick back in 2007 out of the University of Alabama. Borges slices this one foul and out of play on the first base shot. It's 2-2. Hunter missing a considerable amount of time earlier this year. Placed on the DL by Texas due to a groin strain towards the end of spring training as Borges takes upstairs, and it's a full count. Reinstated off the DL on July the 1st and made his debut for Texas on July the 2nd, so limited sample size for Hunter this year. Here's a payoff pitch. Borges hits one out towards center field, chasing Adam Jones back. He will be able to track this one down for the first out. Take a look at the Birds defensively. Reimold in left, Jones in center, Markakis is in right. It's Bell, Hardy, Andino, and Reynolds around the infield from third to first, and Weeder is back behind the plate.
Just like we saw Torrey Hunter's strong throw from right field. Nick Markakis, one of the best and accurate throwing arms from the outfield position. 12 outfield assists this season, 62 since 2007. No errors this season for him also. Very aggressive. The play's a little bit deeper than most right fielders, though, so they may take a chance in advance against him if possible to be able to create an opportunity to score.
Tommy Hunter delivers a strike on Alberto Callaspo. Alberto snapped an 0 for 15 last night. Ended up going 2 for 5. His average of 283. 5 home runs and 39 driven home. This one bounced over to first. Reynolds has it. 2 outs. Two outs with nobody on. Here comes Bobby Abreu. Tonight behind the plate, it's the crew chief, Dana DeMuth. Kerwin Danley is over at first base. Paul Noward at second, and Doug Eddings is over at third. Doug did a nice job last night.
I'll tell you what, he'd be perfect if you were a sinker ball pitcher. He caught a lot of low strikes right at the knees last night.
He's a good getaway guy.
Definitely. He's a guy that's going to call some strikes. You work down in the strikes and you hit both sides of the plate, there's a good chance he's going to call it a strike.
John Hirschbeck, probably the ultimate guy to have on getaway day.
I may come out of retirement when I see him behind the plate. He's one of the best guys there is, period, if you're a pitcher, especially if a guy who can throw strikes. He works with you.
Bobby breaks his bat and rolls one to short. J.J. Hardy has it. Low throw, and Abreu is retired as the Angels go down in order. One complete here at the Big A. We have no score. Every home game, we have a ceremonial first pitch, and today we have the honor of welcoming in former big league pitching coach and manager of the Angels, Marcel Latch, been kind enough to join us. How you doing, Latch?
I'm great. It's really fun to be here. It's fun to see a lot of old faces and a lot of new faces, too.
Gooby, I don't know if you know this, but I've had the honor of working with and/or for 3 of the Latchman brothers.
That's an honor.
Yeah, Bill was my first manager, and then Marcel and Renee in Florida with the Florida Marlins.
Yep.
I don't know how it impacted their lives.
Well, and your dad's a great friend of the family too. So it goes way around, and your mom.
So I got that going for me.
But you're all right now, though. Even though
I survived.
Oh, how did you do that?
This is Gooby's one opportunity to actually get at me. Yeah, you know, his one chance.
All I know is you had some great movement on your first pitch in there, Latch. How'd you do that?
I think it was gravity. After a certain period of time, the ball's going to sink. But it was fun, and I warmed up. I probably threw about 10 pitches. The ball was a little slick.
I know, isn't it? That's what I said when I threw it about 8 miles out of the strike zone. Which
there you go.
Which was a shocker.
Got to be nice to have the family here too. Get honored. People, the amazing thing about the whole 50th anniversary thing, and everyone that we've run out there, it's like it sparks a memory in fans, and then the reaction that they give. The honoree tonight being, of course, you, because they remember you as a longtime pitching coach, and then the stints that you had as the skipper here.
Well, this place has a great deal of spot in the life of myself and my whole family. I mean, it's a very special place to us. I had a great time here. The fans were always great to me. Everybody was. I mean, media, the whole bit. I was very fortunate when I was here. I was fortunate, that I had a lot of real good pitchers too. So it makes you look like you're a little smarter than you are.
Yeah, Latch, I was going to ask you that. Who was the guys you really liked working with most on the pitching staff side of it?
Well, I mean, to start naming names, I'd leave so many out because there were so many of them, Mark. I mean, when I first started here, my first year as a big league pitching coach under Johnny Mack, it was Jeff Zahn and Kenny Force, the veteran guys, and Bruce Keeson, and the young guy in the club was Mike Witt. And then you go from there on to the Kirk McCaskills and the Langstons, the Finleys, the Abbotts, the Lylevens, Don Suttons, Willie Frazier's, the Brian Harveys. I mean, I was really blessed with a lot of really good pitchers, but a lot of really competitive, good guys to get after it, and it made my job a pleasure.
Hey, you were here for a long time as the pitching coach. You went through some managers, and that seldom happens, especially nowadays. It seems like a guy is gone, the staff kind of gets replaced. How did you manage? How was that like, or what was it like for you to go through the managers that you had to go through?
Well, I mean, one of the big things I wanted to do with whoever was the general manager, and it was either Billy or Mike Port, I wanted to make sure that the manager wanted me. I didn't want to be thrown on them and just to have them say, this is the guy that's going to be your pitching coach, because the relationship between the pitching coaches and manager is too important to have somebody forced down their throat. So I was fortunate enough after Johnny Mack, and then Gene said Gene wanted me to come back, and then Cookie took over when Gene went down that spring, and then Moose Stubing and and then Doug Rader and Buck, and just all of them. They were all really good to me, and we get along pretty good, so it worked out.
What was your philosophy then, as far as when you talk to pitchers, whether it's in spring training when you carried in the season or bullpen session? What was your philosophy as far as getting the most out of your pitchers? Because you had a lot of success with your pitchers.
Well, the thing that I didn't want to do is I didn't want to clone everybody. I didn't want to try and make everybody be the same. Because I just, there's too many different ways to get it done. So, but the big thing what we tried to do was to get deliveries that stayed on line as much as possible, and to be able to work ahead in the strike zone and down and early and work quick, because players, defensive players, they hate to be standing out there for watching a guy go ball one, ball two, and then 100 pitches after 5 innings, and they really don't make plays, but you can't really expect them to.
Baltimore with back-to-back hits to start this second inning. The hit and run by Andino got Reynolds over to third. This is Nolan Reimel with a 1-ball, no-strike count. Reimel went 1 for 4 last night to left fielder. Now, you still working with the Colorado Rockies? You've been there, for how long now?
Going on my 12th year. It's hard to believe. Yeah, I'm special assistant to the general manager, Dan O'Dowd, and I get to do a lot of different things. I get pro scouting on 5 clubs, Angels, which are one of them, and then I go see all our minor league clubs play, and then do special assignment stuff. But it's a great job. It's a job that guys say that they want to get. Everybody wants to get one. DSAR's got a similar job, but it took me 40 years to get mine. DSAR got his like in no time. I don't know how the heck he did that.
Well, you didn't want to be up here the other day with Diesar. We were crushing them pretty good for you up there, though, so it's okay.
Good.
We got them for you.
Yeah.
Thank you. If that's all right.
That's good.
As far as the ball club, though, for you, the Rockies kind of taking a step backward this year.
Yeah.
Got to be difficult for Jim Tracy and its staff in Colorado.
It is. We've underperformed. I don't think there's any doubt about it. We had very high expectations going into spring training. I mean, we were talking about, division, league, and World Series. We were talking, and legitimately so, from the way the club lined up. But between injuries and some players just not playing up to
This one out to shallow right center field. Another hit and run. That's going to fall in there. A run will score, and Dino advances over to third. It's 1-0 Baltimore. So picks up an RBI. Sorry.
Yeah, we haven't played very well.
Yeah, I mean, you have a special player there at shortstop. Tulowitzki is one of the best players in the game, though. When you look at him day in and day out.
He is, and Tula started off a little slow, but he's playing very well now, and he's leading all shortstops in home runs and RBIs, and of course the things he does in the field are pretty hard to believe when you look how big he is. But he's the big man, and to make some of the plays he makes is pretty exciting.
How about Carlos Gonzalez? I mean, that guy came up as a center fielder with Oakland, could play either corner outfield spots for you guys.
And he can play center field too. I mean, he's a legit superstar. He led the National League in hitting last year. He was just short of being the MVP, and he was just short of being the Triple Crown winner, really. So he got off to a slow start because of some hand injuries, but he's a legit big-time player. So,
Latch, you're going out to the mound right now. Say you're talking to Pinheiro, who's been struggling. He's back in the rotation now. He finally had a good game out of the bullpen the other day against Texas, 3 shutout innings. He's had a tough time working down with that sinker. How do you say something, that little trigger point you could tell a pitcher to get back to the point where he works downhill and trusts that sink on the fastball?
Well, the big thing I try to do with a guy like that is try not to get him to sink the ball. Okay, let's just throw low fastballs. And if the ball's down, and if it sinks on top of that, fine, which it's probably going to do, because you know better than I do that when you get the ball down, it's because you've had your hand on top of the ball and it's going to make it sink. So doing that and, getting back to our game plan in a situation like this right now, hey, if they make the right kind of outs, they're going to score the guy from third base. Let's not get carried away and try and strike everybody out so this guy in third doesn't score, because the next thing you know, we got a big inning. And that's what beats us, the big innings, not the one-run inning. So let's get a ground ball, get a double play, fine. Let them get that run, and, we'll go back up and hit.
Yeah, that's the big thing. I always liked about you, because you got to come out there and talk to me a few times too. Say, please, let's prevent like a really, really big inning and get a ground ball out. That's the thing. You can't throw 3 straight times to get 3 strikeouts. Just get an out, get a double play, and all of a sudden trust your offense.
Right. And don't pitch away from contact. You pitch away from contact, meaning trying to strike people out, and the next thing you know, you're going to be 2-0 and 3-1, and they're going to get a lot of quality pitches to hit, and you're going to have big innings, because guys at this level, they're going to miss some balls, but they're not going to miss those 2-0 and 3-1 fastballs that they're really sitting on.
I got to ask you about 12 years with Colorado. Is this kind of the role that you are riding off into the sunset? Is there an aspiration perhaps to take it to the next level as a general manager? As Bell strikes out looking for the first out.
There you go. That's a nice strikeout. Now you get a ground ball. No, I'm very happy. I'm very blessed that I've got a great family. We're here tonight, and I just would like to be able to continue to help. Especially from a pitching standpoint. I think that in our industry we've maybe gone a little too far in some of the pitch count things and put too much of a strict standards instead of doing it individual. Each guy, well, maybe this guy can go 100, maybe this guy can go this, but not. We've got so many locked in pitch counts that.
Now it's past Callaspo. That'll score another run. Reimold ends up at third. And it's 2-0 Baltimore.
Yeah, I was wondering, is that taught, you think the best way to get rid of that thought process about pitch counts? Is it going to be taught back in the minor leagues? I know Nolan Ryan's trying to do that down there in Texas. You guys trying to do that in Colorado?
That's where it has to start, because you can't, you can't put on guys on pitch counts in the minor leagues and then bring them up to the big league and say, oh no, we're going to stretch you out, which are the hardest place to do it. So you do it at the minor league level and at the beginning. I think that you've had a couple of good-looking young pitchers come up here that they struggled a little bit. Chatwood had to go back down, and then of course the other kid got hurt, but. Everybody knows they're just a little bit early for being here. Well, the big thing that you got to get is innings. You got to get innings under your belt. That's how you learn how to pitch. And the more you can keep that pitch count under control and let them pitch, that's how they're going to learn how to pitch. Because experience is exactly what the word says. Experience. You have to go through it. And to come up here with 300 and 400 innings under your belt, where guys used to come up with 1,000 under their belt, and consequently, we're much more ready to handle situations.
Is it unfair to blame, or I guess to kind of point at the success that the Rockies pitchers have had on that humidor effect? I mean, how much of an effect has that versus drafting, developing guys and getting them accustomed to pitching in the thin air?
Yeah, I think that's been overblown a little bit, Vic, from the standpoint that all a humidor does is keep the ball where it was when it was sent there. Because what they had found out, what had happened, you'd send, 100,000 cases of baseballs to Colorado, and they put them in this room. Well, with the humidity and the things where the balls would dry up and become slick. So by the middle of June, guys are throwing cue balls out there. You can't make the ball spin, and you can't do anything. So, it just compounded itself. Now you try and do more, you get out of your delivery and all kinds of. But it just kept the ball the way it was, and then we have also done a better job of developing pitchers. But the fact that they can grip a ball now, and they can make it do something. They're a little more confident too, and we let the grass grow a little bit longer. We finally were able to do that a little bit. So those things help.
Around baseball, though, you've seen the resurgence of the pitcher. A lot of great numbers, no hitters and strikeouts. It seems to be it's shifting back to where it was in the late 60s, early 70s, when the pitchers were dominant out on the mound now.
Right, and you're seeing, I was looking at it the other day, and I can't remember, out of the 30 teams in the big leagues, there was like 24, 25 teams that had less hits than innings pitched as a whole staff, and that was like unheard of. I mean, that would never happen. So obviously, it has made a difference, and the fact that the steroid era and all of that's gone with, but I think that you are seeing a lot better pitching, and you're seeing more guys that are capable of going out there and pitch instead of just a handful.
Jones takes a strike, and it's 1-2, 3 runs in so far for Baltimore here. 7 hits allowed by Pinheiro. Not a lot of them squared up, but hits nonetheless for the man at third base. And that's the tough thing about it. Try to limit the damage, as you were talking about it before. J.J. Hardy with an RBI double, standing over at third. Marcel, I know that you've got your family here. You're going to go sign some autographs. The lines, as I could tell right now, are just they're Goobas are deep.
Yeah, my whole family and maybe a couple of Gooby's friends,
right? we called them in for you.
Thank you.
Lads, it's always a pleasure getting a chance to see you.
Great to see you guys.
Enjoy the rest of the night here.
Thank you very much. Great to see you.
You're one of the all-time best.
I love you guys. Thank you.
All right, lads, take care. Adam Jones with a 1-2 count here, 2 outs, 3 runs in. And Pinheiro really trying to get that last out and keep the damage where it's at as Jones hits this one out to right field. Torrey's got a beat on it, and he will make the catch. Baltimore strikes first. They get 3 runs. They do it on 4 hits and leave a man at third base. We hit the bottom of the second. Orioles 2-0. Baltimore getting their 3 runs on 4 hits in the second inning. she's not crying because she knows there's plenty of time. The Angels went down in order in the first. Torrey Hunter to lead things off here to start the second. It'll be Hunter, Trumbo, and Kendrick against Tommy Hunter.
And she knows that Torrey Hunter is extremely hot right now in the month of August. Swinging the bat.
Fastball missing outside. It's 1 ball, no strikes. Torrey last night 2 for 3. 2 home runs, 5 runs batted in. He's got a 17-game hitting streak. A .259 overall batting average. That one caught the upper portion of the strike zone. It's 1-1. 17 home runs, 64 runs batted in for Torrey. Lays off of that. It's 2 balls and 1 strike. In Chicago, the White Sox have taken the lead late. They lead the Texas Rangers 3-2. That game at the top of the 9th inning at U.S. Cellular Field. Torrey swinging through the high fastball. And it's 2 balls and 2 strikes. Breaking pitch lifted foul and out of play.
And this at bat, high fastball against Torrey. He's throwing a cut fastball. He's throwing a slow curveball. Trying to give him all different types of looks.
Another 2-2. Right back up the middle, make that an 18-game hitting streak as the leadoff man is on board.
And that's the impressive thing about Torrey is his ability to go right back up the middle. When he's swinging the bat well, it's up the middle, the right center field on fastballs and all-speed pitches away. Something on the inner half, that's when he's able to hit it out of the ballpark. And it's a great, short, compact swing.
It's a 2-strike approach, and that's fine. You let it fly for the first couple of times, but once you get to 2 strikes, try to shorten up, make contact, especially as a leadoff man in an inning, get on base. And that's exactly what he did.
Remember, so many times he has told us that he's got to get back to his normal swing. He's not what you call a prototypical home run hitter. Try to generate that bat speed. It's more line drives.
Trumbo fouls this one back behind the plate. Wieters will give it a look, but runs out of room. Oh, 1 count on Trumbo. Went 0 for 4 yesterday. .256 average, 23 home runs, 68 runs batted in. He's been on a tear here, even with the 0 for last night. At home, last 17 games. Hitting .361, 7 bombs, 17 RBIs. Fouls this one back. And it's no balls and 2 strikes. Outside, 1-2. Tommy Hunter got to the big leagues for the first time in 2008. That was his second professional season, pitching just 3 games with Texas. In 09, made 19 starts for the Rangers, went 9-6 and a .410 ERA. And then last year, pitching 23 games, 22 starts, a 13-4 record. Trumbo pulls it off the glove at third base of Josh Bell, and it's a base hit for Mark Trumbo, and the Angels have their first 2 on to start the bottom of the second.
Well, that was a rocket. Boy, Trumbo just stay back long enough again. Another 2-strike approach. There's that fastball, tries to run it in. Trumbo quick, gets it by Bell. That's all you can do as a third baseman, especially with a guy hitting the ball that hard at you. Just hope it hits your glove and stays in the glove.
So with Hunter at second, Trumbo at first, here's Howie Kendrick. Howie hitting .290 on the year after going 1 for 3 last night. 9 home runs, 39 runs batted in. Howie picked up an RBI last night as well. The first inning single. Takes a strike here. Adam Jones, as we pointed out last night, plays a very shallow center field for Baltimore. Reimold is straight up and left. Markakis the same and right. But Jones likes to go back and get the baseball. That's how he rolls it foul. And it's no balls and 2 strikes. Eric Ibar on deck. Mike Trout to follow. Halo's trying to get one of those 3 back. That's shot foul. And it is still no balls and 2 strikes. And that's what you will see from Tommy Hunter for the most part. Fastballs are cut fastballs away from right-handed batters.
He's a guy that's around the strike zone a lot. A lot of times he's going to be 0-1, 0-2, 1-2.
Check swing did not go. Fastball missing in. Hunter doesn't waste a whole lot of time on the mound. Here's the 1-2. That one hits Howard. The question is, where did it get him? Thought for a moment it may have gotten him up around the ear flap area, perhaps even the shoulder. Appears to be all right. The bases are loaded here with nobody out.
We're looking out over the plate. Right at the shoulder. Tried to force a 2-seam fastball down, but got underneath it. It's him in the shoulder.
So Ibar bats here with the bases loaded. Nobody out. Bell playing in at third base. Middle infielders back at double play depth. And Reynolds in a little bit at first, just behind Kendrick. Ibar swinging through the breaking pitch.
Boy, they keep throwing that breaking pitch first pitch. You're almost at the point, if you're Eric Ibar, you're willing to go up there and take that first pitch no matter what. Just to be able to see where it's going to come through the strike zone. He's been identified as a guy right now that's struggling hitting the off-speed pitch down and in.
He went 1 for 4 last night, hitting .259 on the year as he grounds this one toward J.J. Hardy, and that's going to be a double play ball. The Angels get a run, but just like that, there are 2 outs.
And that one hurts right there. You have an opportunity to get in a huge inning. That's what Marcel Ashman was talking about. If you're a pitcher, you think in terms of limited damage, get a ground ball, don't think of a strikeout, and that's what Hunter was able to do against Eric Ibar. Fastball inside, jammed him.
That seems to be more of a product of jamming oneself because of the struggles that he is having, anticipating off-speed pitch, slowing his own bat down. But here's Mike Trout with 2 outs and a man at third. Takes a strike. Trout went 1 for 4 yesterday. The one, his second major league home run, his first here at home. 7 runs batted in. That home run coming off Kevin Gregg. This one chopped up the middle. J.J. Hardy gets rid of it quickly, and they get Trout for the 3rd out. So the Angels load him up with nobody out and only cash in 1. 2 in the books. It's 3-1 Baltimore.
3-1, and we just got the final from Chicago. White Sox defeated the Texas Rangers 3-2 in the second game of that 3-game set. So the Angels, with a victory here tonight, could pick up a full game and be 5 back in the West. As Pinheiro delivers a strike on Vladimir Guerrero. It'll be Guerrero, Wieters, and Reynolds.
Bottom line is Pinheiro's got to have himself a quick inning here. Elevated some pitches. First couple innings.
Chopper to third. Callaspo has it. And Vladimir retired for the first out. Take a look at our Hyundai key to the game.
Victor, a little Ronnie James Dio for you. Rainbow in the dark. An opportunity for Pinheiro to get back and solidify that 4th spot in the rotation. First couple innings has been difficult for him, but still has that ability to work down, get ground ball for ground ball like we saw there with Vlad, and put himself and the team in position to win.
1 out, nobody on here for Matt Wieters. Baltimore getting 3 hits in the first inning, not scoring. Helped out by the play at the plate. Torrey Hunter gunning down Nick Markakis. But then Baltimore got 3 runs on 4 hits in the second inning. Halos got one of those runs back in the bottom of the second. 1 ball, 1 strike on Wieters. He grounded out to end the first inning. Howie Kendrick retiring him. Switch hitting catcher out of Georgia Tech. Breaking ball is in there.
That was a good curveball there.
Yeah.
Didn't try to do too much with that pitch. Good downward action on the breaking ball over the front leg. Very sufficient mechanics on that pitch.
1-2, and that is looped to right field, a base hit.
A number of flares into the outfield, but we've said it many a times. Most times when the ball is flared in the outfield, it's because the pitch is elevated. Very difficult to get a flare in the outfield if the ball is around knee level or below.
So Wieters on board. 8th hit for the Birds. There's Mark Reynolds, who led off the second inning with a base hit himself on a 3-2 count. Flared one out to shallow left and came around to score one of the 3 runs. Yanked foul. And it's no balls and a strike. Nice attempt down there from Chevy Sweet Seats by a fan who had the glove.
It's a pretty scary spot. Remember we did that game last year there?
Yeah. Oh, I remember. I mean, that guy had no chance of catching that ball, but he looked the part. That's all that matters. Oh, 1 pitch is down low. 1 ball, 1 strike. I remember sitting to your left, which you, with your body mass, blocked everything coming from home plate.
Yeah, I was there to protect you. I know that.
Yeah,
that's my guy. That's the kind of guy I am.
Ibar to Kendrick over to Jumbo. It's a broken bat, inning-ending double play. We head to the bottom of the 3rd here at the Big A. It is 3-1 Baltimore. by the score of 3-1. Hey fans, follow us at foxsportswest.com/Angels and be sure to vote on the Angels poll question. Who will win? The American League Central, the Tigers, the Indians, or the White Sox?
What about the Twins?
What about them?
Nothing. Let's check it.
They're playing out the string.
White Sox here on Tuesday and Wednesday.
Tuesday and Wednesday, 2-game series after they host Texas. Here in the third inning, it'll be 9-1-2. Conger, Borges, and Callaspo against Tommy Hunter. Hank takes a strike. In the big leagues this year, Hank hitting .214, 5 home runs, 16 runs batted in. Big swing and a miss there. And it's no balls and 2 strikes. Tommy Hunter with no strikeouts, no walks. Hank takes that pitch down and in. It's 1-2. Halo starting the season with 3 catchers: Hank, Bobby Wilson, Jeff Mathis. But Conger struggled. Roster spot needed as that pitch misses in. 2-2. Hunter thinking he had himself a strikeout, so will face Conger with a 2-ball, 2-strike count. But Hank was sent down to AAA. Raked down there when he got set back down. Angels trying to get some offense from that 9th spot in the order. The catcher spot. This one's rolled over to the right side, and Dino to his left. Hank is retired for the first out. Fans, are you ready to kick back in the best seats at the game? How about that? Is that timing or what?
It's unbelievable.
The Chevy Sweet Seats are up for grabs for you and 3 lucky guests. You could even score some sweet seats of your own in a brand new Chevy. For official rules and your chance to win, visit ChevyBaseball.com/Angels. You could sit right where those guys are sitting.
Need a baseball too?
Yeah. Hey, is that Kyle Cruz? Looks like it. He had the shades when he came in here.
Yes, he did.
Mercy Me tonight after the game. Neo, one more concert after tonight.
That concert series has been outstanding. I hope they bring that back again next year, because it's been people hanging around after every game for the concert, and I've heard the sound has been outstanding.
Borges trying to bunt, bunts a beauty. Just put it in your pocket. Infield single for Peter Borges. Make that a 7-game hitting streak.
And that is perfect. Getting the baseball right down the third base line. Once that gets by the catcher, there's no chance at all for the third baseman or pitcher to be able to come in and make a play just with that speed.
Paying attention to Borges over there, you have to. He picked up a stolen base last night. That was his 17th late in the game. Callaspo takes that fastball outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Alberto grounded out in the first inning. She's 0 for 1.
Tommy Hunter, not necessarily a great move to first base, but will throw over often. Try to slow down would-be base stealer.
Outside, 2 balls and no strikes. Wieters has been very good in throwing out would-be base stealers this year. 38%, just over 38%. Good hitters counted. 2 balls and no strikes. Baltimore with 3 in the second. The Angels with 1 in the bottom of the second. This one pulled on the right side. That's a base hit to right field. Borges easily will advance to third. Alberto stops at first base, and the Angels have runners at first and third with 1 out. And Bobby Abreu coming to the plate.
with that threat of a stolen base, and then of course almost have to hold the base runner. That ball is able to find that hole between third and first by Reynolds. The board just no hesitation is going to cruise into third base easily. The first and third base hit.
Abreu grounded out to the shortstop J.J. Hardy in the first inning. Hunter and Wieters pitching him away. Bobby got it off the end of the bat and broke his bat. Came at batting .252 on a year. Fouls back the first pitch, and it's 0-1.
Swinging at the first pitch.
Yeah, well, we read about the closed-door meeting that he had with Mike Scioscia. He and Vernon Wells talking about the playing time situation. I wouldn't be surprised if you probably snuck in some comments on pulling the trigger a little bit sooner. Bobby's always been a patient hitter. Seldom swinging first pitch or 3-0. Fouls this one back. It's no balls, 2 strikes.
But when you have that reputation of being a guy that's going to take that first pitch, a lot of times you'll have a pitcher throw that fastball right down the middle of the plate.
So get it over fastball.
Exactly. Ricky Henderson was one of those guys where you did that too, but he would play along with that every once in a while, but then he'd gear up for that fastball first pitch at certain points, and that's when he crushed it.
Would he lull you to sleep?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, make you believe he was going to take?
Yep.
0-2 pitch, outside, 1-2. Did he ever lead off a game against you that way?
Yeah.
He did?
Yeah.
I mean, that's a Hall of Famer.
Well, I mean, he's got the all-time record for leadoff home runs, so I wanted to be involved in that also. I had decent success against it, but I figured, you know what, I want to get in the books too. Why not?
Unlike Leo Gomez, Ricky's a Hall of Famer. 1-2. Lays off the breaking ball, 2-2. Well, we are talking about the Orioles in town this week.
Yes. Why would you not bring up Leo? He's a good guy.
He is a great guy. Peter Borges with a bunt single, standing at third base, and Alberto Callaspo at a base hit. He stands at first. 2 balls, 2 strikes here on Bobby. Torrey Hunter on deck. Two on the way. Breaking pitch lifted foul and out of play on the third base side.
Tommy Hunter's just going to try to stay away on whether it's a fastball or a cut fastball or an all-speed pitch. Force Bobby to keep his hands back long enough to be able to hit that ball well to left field. And there's been times this season also that Bobby has had that ability to wait back on the baseball and hit it hard to left field, to left center field, and get the job done.
Another 2-2. Lays off that pitch. Full count. '45th pitch of the night for Tommy Hunter. Callaspo goes. The 3-2 is fouled off to the left.
Yeah, you wonder if Callaspo would go, especially with Torrey Hunter on deck, and he's been red hot. And so it's a trust in Bobby Abreu to make contact.
Seven pitches thrown by Hunter here to Bobby Abreu. Get a prolonged second inning, but got that double play ball to help him out. Alberto goes again to 3-2 out toward left center field. Hit well. Reimel giving chase. He is not going to get it over his head. Borges will score. Here comes Alberto Callaspo. We are tied at 3.
Well, just like we said, Bobby Abreu has that ability when he keeps his hands back in the strike zone to be able to hit that ball hard the other way. Cut fastball, stay back, let the ball go deeper. See how he's able to stay back in there and have his hands drift through long enough to be able to make good contact on that cut fastball field and tie the ball game up.
22nd double of the year for Bobby Abreu with the 2 runs batted in, giving him 47. He's in scoring position, and Torrey takes a breaking ball upstairs. And the reality of it is that Bobby Abreu, that's his power field. That's when he is going good, much like Torrey, the opposite way out toward that alley. He's got the ability to pull it, but when he's going good, he's staying back and driving it that way.
And his body can drift forward, but when he keeps his hands back through the strike zone, that's when he's going to hit that ball hard the other way.
1-0 pitch is in there. 1 ball, 1 strike. Torrey had a leadoff single to start the 2nd inning, extending his hitting streak to 18 games. Halos falling into a 3-0 hole and battle back to tie things up. Torrey bounces this one to J.J. Hardy at short. 2 outs. Abreu advancing to 3rd. That'll bring up Mark Trumbo. Mark Trumbo hit a rocket past Josh Bell at 3rd base his first time up, so he's 1 for 1. Breaking ball is in there. Back to that pitch on Bobby Abreu.
Well, you see it trying to throw that cut fastball, start off the outside corner and catch the corner, but it got too much of the plate. Bobby had that perfect approach for that type of pitch.
No balls, 2 strikes. The 1-2 count now. And Conger grounded out to start this 3rd inning. The infield bunt hit by Peter Borges. Cayasco with a single. Bobby Abreu with a 2 RBI double to tie this game up. One-two. Breaking ball again. It's 2 balls, 2 strikes. 3 straight breaking pitches after getting him to chase that 1 for the 2nd strike.
And it's slow enough as a hitter you could track that baseball. So you can see if it's got a chance of being in the strike zone or not. Early in the count, yes, you're going to go after it at times. But when you're in a count where you have 2 strikes on, you're more apt to be able to track that baseball and realize it's not going to be a strike.
Just got a piece of that one. Fouls it off Wieters. Still at 2-2. Abreu standing at 3rd base with 2 outs. 2-2 again. That is pulled, and that is a foul ball. Dino Ebel cannot believe it. Mike Soja is coming out to argue. And Doug Eddings seemed to get turned around a little bit because of how hard that ball was hit. And that's what they're pointing at right there. The 2 balls, or 2 marks on the line. It looked like ball marks that appear to be fair, even the first one.
You can see a mark right by the line now, whether that was the baseball that Trumbo hit or not.
That looks like a ball mark.
That does look like a ball mark.
Yeah.
I mean, it looked from here that it would hit the line. But that ball was hit so firmly.
You know, when you go with umpires, a good indicator as to whether or not they were right or wrong is the animated manager trying to state his case and not getting thrown out. And Mike obviously is a guy that is even keel. He will blow his top on occasion. He came sprinting out of that dugout. Dino Ebel's reaction was priceless. He just put his hands on his helmet, not believing the call. And I don't know how you could defend the call if you're Doug Eddings, because you're looking at the base is a line drive. This isn't a roller that you're questioning whether or not it got the corner of the base to stay fair or foul. You're talking about, is the ball on the chalk, or did it get a part of the chalk to try to make the call fair or foul? So it doesn't matter what Doug Eddings would say unless he is saying that neither one of those two marks are the ball that Trumbo hit. That's got to be the only thing that he could be telling Mike Scioscia.
I don't recall any other baseballs going by that area.
Well, it costs the Angels a run. Bobby gets out of the way. The ball's on the ground there. Doug Eddings starts the call fair, gets turned around, and then calls it foul. It looked like he wanted the point fair.
That ball looked like it hit right on the line. There's nothing Andy Demuth can say about that. He can't overrule. The call is Doug Eddings at third base. It's beyond the base.
So Trumbo back up at the plate with a 2-ball, 2-strike count, and Abreu still standing at third, hoping that Trumbo doesn't come anywhere near him again. The best way to just deal with this, just hit one out. 2-2. He flips this one down the right field line. Could this be justice? You better believe it. Trumbo on his way to second. That's an RBI double. Angels on top 4-3.
Yes, that was justice served. A little flare, a nature boy, Ric Flair, the right field. Off the end of the bat, you're talking about a guy pitched before that inner half, flushes it right down the line, foul. And then this pitch on the outside corner off the plate. We've seen a number of real good fights at the plate with 2 strikes this inning alone for Angel hitters. Well, that's great plate coverage.
Yeah. Happiest guy in the diamond right now is Doug Eddings.
Yes.
So Trumbo picks up his 69th run batted in, picks up his 24th double. And the Angels have scored 3 times here in the 3rd inning to take a 4-3 lead. Howie Kendrick at the plate. No official plate appearance for him. Or at bat, I should say. He does have a plate appearance. He was hit by a pitch. Swings and pulls it down the line. This one is a fair ball. A ground rule double. Trumbo will score 5-3 Halos.
And we talked about Tommy Hunter, a guy that throws a lot of strikes but has not had any success against the Angels in his career. That's how he hits his 27th double. Pitch on the inner half, and this time Howie's ready to turn on that pitch. A 2-seam fastball inside, but Howie's super quick, tucking in his hands and driving that down the left field line, one hopper into the stands.
27th double of the year for Howie Kendrick. Picks up his 40th run batted in. Here's Eric Ibar. Makes a breaking ball outside. 1 ball, no strikes. Ibar rolled into that double play in the 2nd inning, so he's 0 for 1. 5 hits here in the 3rd inning for the Halos. 1-0. Ibar pulls it to the right side, and Dino is over there. The inning comes to an end, but the Angels take the lead. They score 4 times on 5 hits, 3 in the books. Halos on top 5-3. Take a look at our AT&T trivia question for tonight. Who are the only 3 active managers to win American League Manager of the Year more than once? Here in the 4th inning, Joel Pinheiro getting back to work. He'll face the bottom third of the order. Andino, Reimold, and Bell for Baltimore. One ball, no strikes on Robert Andino, who singled and scored in the 2nd inning when Baltimore went up 3-0. There's a strike, leaving the count at 1-1. Pinheiro getting ready to throw his 52nd pitch. It's just outside, 2-1.
Boy, this is an opportunity for Pinheiro to reestablish himself in the rotation after his offense gives him a lead now with 4 runs in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Huge game for the club.
This was chopped toward the middle eye bar over to his left. Andino is retired for the 1st out. Let's go back to that ball that Trumbo pulled down the line. This is kind of as blown up as possible. Yeah, still hasn't changed. Still a fair ball.
Right on the line.
Yeah. Either way, still got the double and the RBI.
Just went the other side of the field with the double.
That's it.
Still looked like a line drive. It will look like one in the box score.
Reimold swinging first pitch, lifting one out to center field. Gorgeous makes the catch, 2 outs. Kids, the Halos take on the Orioles tomorrow, wrapping up this 3-game set. Remember, it's a 12:35 start. Kids may receive that Vernon Wells messenger bag courtesy of OC Park while supplies last. To purchase your tickets today, visit the Angels Stadium ticket office, or you can always just log on to angels.com. 2 outs and nobody on for Josh Bell. Bell, the only strikeout victim for Pinheiro. He went down looking into 2nd. No balls and a strike. Bell, a switch hitter. 190 in the big leagues this year, coming into tonight's game. The pitch missed inside. It's 1-1.
A great opportunity for Pinheiro to have that shutdown inning. Refocus. Gain that confidence, not only in yourself, but in the teammates playing behind you.
Swing and a miss. Going with the off-speed pitch there. It's 1-2. Check swing foul. We'll reset and do it again at 1-2. 40 of the 58 pitches thrown by Pinheiro have been strikes tonight. They've had 3 hits in the first, 4 in the 2nd, 1 in the 3rd, trying to sit the Orioles down in order here in the 4th inning. The 1-2. Foul play.
Played to a split finger fastball there. That's a good pitch for Pinheiro to use during the course of the game. He's got the slow curveball. He's mixing the slider and the sinking fastball. You get the hitter's timing off by being able to throw that split finger fastball as your changeup.
Swing and a miss. Bell goes down, and Pinheiro has retired the side in order for the 1st time tonight. We head to the bottom of the 4th with the Angels still on top. by your local Mazda dealers. And by Jack in the Box. Come try the new Jumbo Breakfast Platter for just $2.99 plus tax at participating restaurants. Bottom of the fourth, the Angels with a 5-3 lead here at the Big A against the Baltimore Orioles. Last night taking game one by the final of 8-3. Getting 4 runs into third off Tommy Hunter. Sending 8 men to the plate. Mike Trout will lead things off here in the fourth inning. He'll be followed by Hank Conger, then Peter Borges. Breaking ball is in for a strike. Trout grounded out to end the second inning. He's 0 for 1. It's down to the J.J. Hardy. Josh Bell playing in at third base. Reynolds playing in at first. This one lifted in the air down the line. Markakis moving over. 1 out. We'll go back to our AT&T trivia question. We're the only 3 active managers to win American League Manager of the Year award more than once.
Soch has to be in there.
Buck Showalter and Tony La Russa. Showalter with the Yankees and 04 with Texas. Surprising 89-win team in 2004. Conger looks at a fastball for a strike.
Always been a guy that has the detail each and every day for his club. Buck Showalter has these guys prepared. Now, granted, they haven't pitched well this year. You see them out there getting their extra work every day, being positioned to be successful. But if you don't have the guys thrown on the mound and give you an opportunity to win, it's very difficult to do so.
He took over last year, and the ball club went 34-23. After he took over, got off to a 6-1 record to start the year, thinking perhaps those young pitchers, Mattis and Tillman, among others, would be able to compete in the American League East, but all of a sudden it fell apart for him. Some injuries certainly did not help things. Hank pops this one up on the first base side. Reynolds near the dugout. 2 outs. And they have an uphill battle. Baltimore does. Trying to compete in that East if they don't get those young pitchers back.
Now, you can't compete in the AL East unless you pitch well. There's a lot of powerful offenses in that division. You look at obviously Boston, New York, Toronto, Tampa Bay. They can all score runs. So if you don't pitch well, you're going to give up a lot of runs and always be behind in the game, even early in the game.
Borges looks at a breaking pitch for his strike.
Saw that last night with JoJo Reyes. Although he did come back and throw the ball well later in the game. About 4 in the first inning, you put your team in jeopardy right away.
1 ball, 1 strike. Peter 1 for 2 tonight. Fly ball to center in the bottom of the first inning, and a bunt single and a run scored. He sparked that 4-run rally in the third inning. 7-game hitting streak now for him. Lifts this one in the air on the third base side. Josh Bell is there. And Tommy Hunter returns the favor. The Angels go down in order for the second time tonight. 4 in the books. Angels still on top.
By authority of the Angels and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Angels.
Top of the fifth, the Angels with a 5-3 lead, trying to pick up a game on the Texas Rangers, who lost to the White Sox earlier tonight. J.J. Hardy leading things off. The first pitch is in for a strike. Hardy 1 for 2, doubled home a run in the second inning. His 21st double of the year. His 59th run batted in. 0-2.
Good spot. Go inside, then outside with the fastball.
Here on the first 2 innings threw a total of 40 pitches. Last 2 innings, a total of 20 pitches. Go 2, pulled down the line, giving chase is Trout. He will track it down for the first down. And one of the most affordable ways to see the Angels play is with the JetBlue Friends and Family Pack. This deal includes 4 tickets, 4 hot dogs, and 4 sodas for how much, Gooby?
$44.
$44. The next Friends and Family Pack game is tomorrow against the Orioles. What time is that, Gooby?
12:35.
12:35. To purchase your tickets,
I was just thinking of Reggie Jackson with 44.
Online at angels.com/funpack.
What, 12:44? No, I was thinking of $44. Reggie Jackson.
Oh, man. One
That's
out.
that number is ingrained in my mind. No, he didn't get me.
He didn't.
No,
Reggie?
No, he didn't.
No, congratulations.
I just had to bring that up just in case you were going to.
If Hammer and Hank had not been retired, would he have
Oh,
gotten it?
I would have took care of him. He would have had a few more
With
big
pleasure?
flies. Yes.
And a tip of the cap?
Yes.
Thank you, sir.
I would have been
another.
glad to give up a big fly to left field so he wouldn't hit a line drive back up the middle and knock me down.
Yeah.
Because he had unbelievable play coverage, especially anything away, break a ball, fastball away. He's going to be hit hard up the middle.
Marquez takes that pitch low. It's 2-1. Would you consider him a front leg hitter? That's how strong he
Yes,
was. Man.
yes. I mean, he'd be, even when he was fooled, I'm like, that ball is crushed. Watching those highlights, glad I didn't face him.
Marquez bouncing one toward the middle. Ibar was shading him that way. Marquez is thrown out, drawn to the 2. Reggie more of a back legger.
Yeah. Yeah, he would he would swing and miss on occasion also. But Hank, no.
Yeah, Reggie put the PIMP in pimp.
Yes. Swung hard just in case he wanted to hit it 500 miles.
He probably was one of the first guys to kind of admire his home runs. Thinking back to the didn't happen a whole lot in the 60s.
No.
Not that I remember have seen in highlights. 70s, not as much. He was kind of Showtime.
Yeah, he created that look.
Yeah.
That fellow right there, number 44, can hit the ball a long way himself. 471-foot shot off King Felix.
Adam Jones lifting one out toward left center field. Trout at the wall and makes the catch. No, he didn't. Man, why did I think that ball went into his glove? Holy cow, he sold me. Adam Jones with a solo blast, and it's 5-4 now. Holy cow.
Well, he timed it perfectly. Got back to the wall, leaps up, and off the top of his glove.
Thought he had it. Jones with his 22nd home run of the year. It's a 1-run game. Well, there's not much else he could do. He's shaking his head, but
I thought he had it.
Yeah. Glad he takes a strike, and it's 1-1.
And that's only the 4th home run that Jones has hit on the road.
Man, that would have been an awesome play. At least we know I had the call down for the almost awesome play.
Yes. I don't think Adam Jones would have liked it, though.
No. Vladdy hits one to short. Ibar has it. That will end the inning. Adam Jones picks up his 22nd home run of the season. His 76th run batted in, but the Angels, as we head to the bottom of the fifth, still with a one-run lead. Getting some abuse from Torrey Hunter. It probably has something to do with height, but I tell you what, he did a heck of a job of getting to the wall, putting himself in a position, and almost making that catch.
He's saying, didn't you see me make all those plays, robbing those home runs? Didn't you
Yeah.
see the All-Star game in Milwaukee, what I did to Barry Bonds?
That's right.
Got over the wall?
Somehow I don't think Adam Jones would have carried Mike Trout.
No. I don't think so.
Picked him up.
No.
Callaspo leading things off, takes a strike. A one-run lead now, 5-4 Angels. Callaspo, Abreu, and Hunter here in the fifth inning. Alberto 1 for 2 with a base hit and a run scored. Lays off that pitch. 1 ball, 1 strike. This one out towards center field. Jones back a couple of steps to make the catch for out number 1. Let's take a look at Bobby Abreu. As far as the difference between Abreu early on versus tonight, the swing that he had with a 2 RBI double in the third.
Here on left in April, he was able to keep his hands through it, lower part of his body, real good position to get that baseball squared up. Here, leaning forward, hands going flying open, and this ball right here was fouled off. He did make an adjustment, though, a little bit later on in this game here when he hit the double to left center field, kept his hands back, also his weight, and got that ball out in front and crushed it to left center field.
Bobby takes a strike on the inside corner.
Well, and right here you can see the difference. That shift of weight, hands through the baseball, squared it up perfectly. He was not leaning forward. That's the key for him, not leaning forward.
Breaking pitch, line to the alley in left center field. That's a base hit. Jones cuts it off. Bobby will stop right there with a 1-out base hit, his second hit of the game.
Well, can't you just tell when the hitter's starting to feel much better? Even when he's running around first base, kept his hands back, a slow breaker ball, a difficult pitch to keep your weight back. Kept his hands quiet, base hit in the left center field, and rounding that base very well. Because all of a sudden the confidence is there.
Just on the heels of what you said, get that foot down, that front foot down. Okay to be full, but if you keep the hands back, you've still given yourself the opportunity to drive the baseball the opposite way, and that's what Bobby has done the last 2 times up. There's Torrey Hunter. He wanted to appeal, he did not go, says Kerwin Danley at first. Torrey's 1 for 2. Had a base hit in the second, grounded to short in the third. Proud owner of an 18-game hitting streak. His career high is 23 back in 2007. And a pretty good pitch to drive right there. Probably wishes he could have that one back. It's 1-1.
Yeah, that long walk away from the home plate area, thinking that was the pitch. I got a great chance of crushing. Tommy Hunter versus Torrey Hunter here. Who's going to get the best of them? Of course, we saw Torrey, the base hit his first bat. They extend that hit streak.
Off the end of the bat, right back to Tommy Hunter. Throws to second baseman Walker. Relays in time, inning-ending double play. No runs a hit, nobody left on. 5 complete here. The Angels still on top, 5-4.
Baseball in right field. Perfect throw to Hank Conger as he blocks the plate. Puts that left leg out there. Prevents Nick Markakis from getting into home plate. 12th outfield assist for Torrey Hunter on that throw. And that was our Coors Light Freeze Game, brought to you by Frost Brew Coors Light. Textbook throw. Aggressive throw by Torrey. Even better by Hank Conger behind the plate. Catching that hop. And of course, preventing that slide in there by putting that left leg out and blocking the plate.
Top of the 6th inning, Matt Wieters to lead things off here for the Orioles. Switch hitter swings first pitch, hits one out to the alley in right center field. Borges, a terrific first step, runs that one down for out number 1.
Well, that first step by Peter Borges, outstanding to be able to read that baseball off the bat. Looks like initially that might have a chance of flaring into the outfield, but Borges, quick as can be, makes the play.
So 1 out.
Told Torrey that's how you get the ball.
See, Torrey, this is how I'll do it when I'm your age, as opposed to the other way around. It reminds me of a young me.
Well, the good thing about Torrey is he never really seems to enjoy himself out there at all, does he?
No, not at all. I had a great conversation with him before the game today, before stretching, as a matter of fact. We were just talking about Adam Jones. Remember Adam Jones mentioning Torrey and kind of praising Torrey when the Angels were in Baltimore. And so I asked about what's the relationship. I mean, it doesn't seem like there's any, doesn't make any sense that there would be a relationship other than, hey, you admire one another from afar. And that's all it was. When he was coming up, Adam Jones was, with the Seattle Mariners. Torrey learned from Kirby Puckett a long time ago to go to young players and talk to them and to give them advice, whether it's defensively or offensively. And so they've stayed in touch. They continue to talk. They go out to dinner on occasion. And he says that's just the best part, one of the best parts of the game is getting a chance to teach guys. He said when the Royals were here, he talked to Mike Moustakas, the third baseman. Eric Hosmer was Pinero, does a terrific job there for out number 2. Talked to Hosmer as well. Just sharing that knowledge. And you know what? That's what a veteran player should do.
Completely invaluable. That's what I learned the most is when you talk to veteran players, and the majority of veteran players like to give you information if you're willing to ask. That's all you have to do is ask them. And why would you not? Especially if you're Adam Jones, you get an opportunity to talk to Torrey Hunter, who's arguably one of the best center fielders the game has ever seen, 9-time Gold Glover. Why would you not pick his brain to see what kind of information you can get as far as going back on the baseball. Should you play shallow? Should you play deep? What do you do against certain batters? Those little things to give you an edge.
I asked him if Kirby, did he wear you out as far as staying on top? He said, man, he used to call me down in the minor leagues, 18, 19 years old. I see your numbers, you're struggling. Why are you struggling? And when he was going good, he would give him the words of encouragement to keep it going. So that's I guess, what he continues to try to do. Aside from the fact that he is a good guy, he's gregarious, loves to have fun, has a good time, but obviously likes to share that knowledge. And it's great to see Borges and him and Mike Trout and joking around, especially when it comes to defensive side of things.
And he's constantly joking around, but he's also making his point. So you learn some things from him.
Callasco has it to his left. And Dino is retired, and Joel Pinheiro has himself a 1, 2, 3, 6th inning. We head to the bottom of the frame. It's 5-4 Angels. Limited time. They're only $5. Feel the excellence. And by Time Warner Cable. Angels baseball is brought to Casino. Get your game on. By El Pollo Loco. Try one of 4. Angels baseball is brought to you by Hawaiian Gardens Casino. Get your game on. By El Pollo Loco. Try one of 4 new delicious flame grilled chicken burritos. For a limited time, they're only $5 each. El Pollo Loco. Feel the excellence. And by Time Warner Cable. Gorgeous sight. Sun setting here in Southern California. The Angels with a 5-4 lead here in the bottom of the 6th inning, facing Tommy Hunter, who's thrown 77 pitches. He has struck out no one. He has walked no one. He's allowed 8 hits. Here in the 6th inning, he'll be facing Trumbo, Kendrick, and Ibar. Mark 2 for 2. Single to double, an RBI. At the first pitch breaking ball. He fouls it straight back, and it's 0-1.
Well, those are the type of pitches you throw on the mound. You're thinking, oh, I shouldn't do it there. But he was fortunate enough that Mark fouled that ball straight back. A lot of the plate and elevated.
One ball, one strike. The RBI by Trumbo in the 3rd is 69th of the year. Continuing to hit the ball well here at home of late. Lines this one into center field, make that a 3-hit game for Mark Trumbo. And Adam Jones makes an error, and that allows Trumbo to get to second base. Jones with 7 errors on the year has committed his 8th now, and the Angels have a man in scoring position.
That's all basically comes down to concentration. Such a good outfielder. Adam Jones was in position to make the play. Just took his eye off the baseball. Coming in, tried to field it to the side.
It's kind of an odd way to field it.
Because Trumbo's got good wheels, but he's not going to press the issue of a ball right at you at center field.
You wouldn't think. 81st error for the Orioles. Howie Kendrick takes outside. Howie hit by a pitch in the 2nd inning. And then the very first offering we saw in the 3rd, pulled a double down the line. Picked up an RBI. his 40th of the season. Lines this into right field. That's going to hang up for Markakis. One out. Trumbo stays at second.
Well, the approach was right for how he tried to go to the right field, but the ball a little bit too high. Hit it on the line, right at Markakis in right field. But the thought process behind the swing, there's Pete Joe, bench coach, gave him a high five there as far as what he wanted to try to do.
Eric Ibar stepping to the plate with a man in scoring position. Eric 0 for 2. One double play ball, one ground out. Upstairs, 1 ball, no strikes. Bobby Casabal loosening in the pen. Rivera's thrown 81 pitches in his first start. Coming back out of the bullpen. Ibar pulls this one to the right side. Reynolds has it. He'll free Tommy Hunter. And Ibar retired for out number 2.
Now it's time for Coors Light Cold Hard Blast. Last night, Mike Trout gets a fastball in her half and drives it out to left center field. His second career home run. First at the Big A. Both home runs against the Baltimore Orioles for Mike Trout.
Steps up here with 2 outs. And Trumbo standing at third. John 0 for 2. A ground ball to short and a fly to right. One-0 pitch. Took something off. 1-1. This was going on between innings. This is kind of exactly what we were just talking about.
Mentoring a young player, and you can see Mike Trout is listening, absorbing all that information from Torrey Hunter. Invaluable.
Lift this one down a right field line. Markakis with a long run over. Near the railing, runs out of room. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Hisanori Takahashi has joined Bobby Casabal. You've got a right-hander, a switch hitter, and a right-hander due up for Baltimore in the top of the 7th inning. Then you've got Markakis, the lefty, the tough lefty.
Leads you believe that Pinheiro probably is done after 6 innings.
2 strikeouts, no walks, 9 hits allowed. This is a ground ball towards short. Hardy has it. The spin move. Left field. Reynolds digs it out. That will end the inning. What a play by J.J. Hardy, robbing Mike Trout of an RBI single. 6 complete. The Angels still up 5-4. The score of 5-4. Baltimore with 8, 9, and 1 due up. Mike Socha's gone to the bullpen. Bobby Kazuma takes over for Joel Pinheiro. Bobby pitching in his 16th game this year. 1-1 mark at 2.28 ERA. He's done a nice job of late. Pitched an inning in 2/3 Thursday against Texas. Fans, on September the 3rd, the Angels conclude their post-game summer concert series with a performance by R&B star Neo, presented by SRS Labs in association with Budweiser. Purchase your tickets today at the Angels Stadium ticket office or online at angels.com/concerts. Nolan Reimel to lead things off. Reimel, the left fielder, is 1 for 2. Had an RBI single in the second. With his 21st run batted in. That Neo concert, by the way, is when the Minnesota Twins are in town as Bobby delivers a strike.
Nice job by Joel Pinheiro tonight also. After that second inning in which he had given up 3 runs and 7 total hits. Very good from that point forward. Outside of the home run by Adam Jones. Very solid.
Fouled off to the right. It's no balls and 2 strikes on Reimel.
Not perfect, but getting there as far as locating his pitches. No walks, 2 punch outs for his effort today. A lot of ground balls. A few pitches that were elevated were flared into the outfield. So this is some adjustments still to be made by Pinheiro, but encouraging for sure.
Reimel just got a piece of it, but still at 0-2. Especially against a lineup like this, very aggressive. They're not going to waste a whole lot of time. I liken them to the Toronto Blue Jays, although Blue Jays seem to make contact a little bit more so.
They're aggressive.
Than the Orioles, but very aggressive bunch, the Orioles. Ground ball toward the middle. Ibar dives, got it. No play at first. It's an infield base hit. So the leadoff man is on board for the Orioles. And that'll bring up Josh Bell, the switch hitting third baseman, who tonight is 0 for 2 with a couple of strikeouts.
You can see how much range Eric Ibar has. That ball's into the outfield grass, but no chance to be able to throw him out. But still, excellent job once again by Eric Ibar, in my opinion. And I know you feel the same way, Victor, that should be in line to win the Gold Glove as far as a shortstop in the American League.
You can only hope. Bell struck out looking into second, went down swinging in the 4th. Now fouled back, and it's 0-1. Pinheiro tonight, 6 innings, 2 strikeouts, 4 runs all earned on 9 hits, including the home run by Adam Jones.
81 pitches thrown in those 6 innings. Yeah, good adjustment after the second inning. Yeah, giving up 3 runs and 7 hits through 2 innings. From that point forward, very good.
One ball, 1 strike. Top of the order, J.J. Hardy on deck. Orioles now with 10 hits tonight. They had 12 last night, 9 of which came off of Dan Herron. 3 off Scott Downs in that 8th inning, and quick throw to first. Baltimore does not run a whole lot. They were second to last in the American League in stolen bases with 47, although we've seen them hit and run already in this game twice. Bell is a guy that, and anything can happen with any at-bat, has struggled to make contact here in the big leagues this year. 1-1 pitch. It's down and in, and it's 2 balls and 1 strike. 4 runs, 10 hits, 1 error, 3 left on for Baltimore. The Angels with 5 runs, 9 hits, no errors, and 3 left on. Trying to pick up a game on Texas, who lost tonight, earlier tonight, 3-2 against the White Sox. The Tigers padded their lead in the American League Central with a 10-1 victory over Cleveland. Now a 3.5 game lead over the Indians. Chicago remains 5 back. 2-1 pitch. Bell chops this one towards second base. Howie feeds Ibar for one. Relay to first. Not in time. A high chopper and difficult to try to turn 2 there, especially with a left-handed batter, I should say, coming out of the batter's box.
Well, as close as you can get to be able to turn double play, but Reimold came in hard on Eric Ibar, and that chopper is the feed by Howie over to Ibar at second base. As he's close to the base there, is Ibar able to get rid of the baseball? No way you're going to be able to double up anybody on a chopper like that, but still get the lead runner to the important one.
J.J. Hardy at the plate. The shortstop takes a breaking pitch for his strike. 1 for 3 tonight. RBI double in the second, his 21st double of the season. Orioles have liked what they've seen with J.J. Hardy this year, so much so that they rewarded him with a 3-year contract extension. Made him in Tucson, Arizona. Takes that pitch inside. It's 1 ball, 1 strike.
Well, he holds his hands low and then gathers them back up as the pitch is going to be made. Almost wasn't quick enough to be able to get out of the way. That fastball ran right on his hands.
Hisanori Takahashi loosening for the Angels. This one lifted in the air down the right field line, and this one slicing foul and out of play.
Well, you would think that's the approach they're taking, to be able to pitch inside at the hands. See J.J. Hardy with his hands held low. You run that fastball in. It should be an effective pitch if you can establish that in there.
Mike Gonzalez, a left-hander, loosening now for the Orioles. The ball on 2 strikes with Josh Bell at first. Hardy grounds one toward short. Ibar feeds Kendrick for 1. Relay to first. In time, inning-ending double play. Bobby Kazimov through the 7th inning here, as the Angels still on top 5-4.
Pollo Loco. Scott Shields, arguably the greatest setup man in Halo history. Shields pitched his 10 seasons all in Anaheim, helping get the ball to some of the best closers in the game.
It's always nice when you're done pitching to be able to watch those guys behind you. When you're on the mound, you got to go out there and forget what happened the day before.
Shields was the longest tenured member from that 2002 championship team.
Bottom of the 7th inning, 5-4 Angels. Scott Shields, one of the all-time great guys, the rubber band man.
Oh, you talk about a moving fastball. And he competed as well as anybody you'll ever see.
On a daily basis.
He penciled in for 70, 80 appearances a year.
Yep. Tommy Hunter back out there here for the 7th. Facing 9-1-2. Conger, Borges, and Callasco. Halos looking for some insurance here. Hank is 0 for 2. Takes that pitch inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Hank down at AAA Salt Lake, 27 games, hit 300 with 5 home runs. grounded out and popped up in his first 2 at-bats tonight. Pulls this one down the right field line, and is hooking, and it is foul. They've tried to stay in on the hands of Conger pretty much the entire night.
One pitch, though, if you go inside and you miss down and in, that ball's got a chance getting out of the ballpark.
Breaking pitch, looped out to right field. Markakis coming on. He'll make the catch. And there is out number 1. So back to the top of the order. Peter Borges steps to the plate. Borges with a bunt single in the 3rd inning. Sparked that 4-run rally for the Angels. 1 for 3 night. Now with a 7-game hitting streak. The last couple of games in that leadoff spot. 8 for 16. Drops a bunt here and rolls it foul. Hits him in the batter's box. It's a foul ball.
Right away the call was made. He was in the batter's box. Leaders tried to see if he could sell it by saying he was out of the box at that point. Yep, right away hits his elbow.
That's not an easy call for an umpire. Things happening so quick,
and if your foot is outside and you're on the way down the baseline, you can be called out on that bunt.
Breaking pitch, hammered out to left center field. That ball's crushed. Randall back at the wall. Gone! Big fly for Peter Borges. The Angels get that insurance run. 6-4 Halos.
Well, he's doing a little Ricky Henderson himself in that leadoff spot. You mentioned 8 for his last 16 in that spot. Now 9 for 17. With a bunt hit in this game, it also hits the ball out of the yard. It didn't take a whole long time to get out of the Angels. That ball was crushed.
Buck Showalter, the skipper's coming out. That's going to be it for Tommy Hunter. As Peter Borges collects his 7th home run of the season and picks up his 28th run batted in. We've got a pitching change here in the bottom of the 7th. The Angels on top 6-4. With over 16,000 ATMs nationwide and more on the way, take a step forward and chase what matters. By Chrysler. Visit us at Chrysler.com or see your local dealer today. And by 76 Gasoline. We're on the driver's side. Halos up 6-4 as Mike Gonzalez comes on in place of Tommy Hunter. Facing Alberto Callasco. The first pitch is in for a strike. Gonzalez pitching now his 46th game, 2-2 record of 4.79 ERA, has 1 save. Breaking pitch will foul and is off the leg, lower leg of Callasco. It's 0-2.
I got it right on the front of the foot. Right on top.
Check swing. That's foul back. Tommy Hunter tonight, 6 1/3. 6 runs, all earned, 10 hits, 1 home run, no strikeouts and no walks through 95 pitches tonight.
And he's going to be around the strike zone. Just doesn't have that one pitch he can go to get a strikeout to get him through an inning.
In time, 1-2. It's almost as if you got to go teach him a straight changeup or a fosh ball, something to kind of get hitters off that. You can't teach him a slider, I wouldn't think. He's already got that cut fastball going.
Everything's pretty firm.
Yeah.
I think you have to find a pitch and get in around 75 to 78 range. That way you get a decent enough differential between the fastball and cut fastball and the off speed.
This one chasing Jones back into his left. He'll track it down for out number 2. Carrasco 1 for 4 now. And that'll bring up Bobby Abreu. Bobby 2 for 3. 2 RBI double in the 3rd inning. Had a single in the 5th. Fouls this one off to the left. No balls at a strike. A great crowd on hand tonight. 43,201. And of course, many in the house for Mercy Me. In concert after the game. Lays off the high fastball. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Just a much more confident approach for Bobby here. The RBI double, 2 RBI double, then a single.
Fouls this one off the left. 1-2.
This against a guy like Gonzalez, who's very tough on lefties and can throw that fastball, as you can see at 92, 93. And a real good sweeping breaking pitch also.
Gonzalez, a one-time closer with Pittsburgh, had 24 saves for them in 2006. 10 saves with the Atlanta Braves in 2009. Texas native. 30th round pick at 97 by Pittsburgh.
Pretty good scouting.
Yeah. 2-2 on its way. Bobby lines one to left field. Reimold is there. The inning comes to an end, but Peter Borges gives the Angels a little insurance with his 7th home run of the season. 7 in the books here at the Big A and the Halos with a 6-4 lead.
That's great power to left center field for Peter Borges.
We'll take a look at our Farmers Insurance report card tonight.
Solid job by Joel Pinheiro tonight. 6 innings pitched, 4 earned runs. Only 1 earned run after that second inning, which he allowed 3. Mark Trumbo, 3 for 3. RBI double and a couple singles. Peter Borges, a bunt single and a big fly. Second straight game for Peter Borges with a home run. Left center field, out the second.
Bobby Kazov out for his second inning of action. And Mike Markakis takes a strike. Markakis, Jones, and Guerrero here in the 8th inning. Markakis 1 for 3, a single back in the first inning, an RBI ground out in the second. 1 ball, 1 strike. This normally a spot reserved for Scott Downs through pitches last night, quite a few pitches last night, worked his way out of a jam. Pitch just off the plate. It's 2 balls and 1 strike. Down throwing 22 pitches last night. Markakis fouls it off 2-2. Fernando Rodney also pitched last night. 16 pitches for him.
An opportunity for Bobby Kazval to be in that important role here. The bridge between the starter, Scott Downs, Jordan Walden to close it up.
2-2 line to left field. That is a leadoff base hit. Trout over to cut it off. Markakis will stop there. So the leadoff man is on for Adam Jones.
Number 10, center fielder Adam Jones.
Jones tonight 2 for 3, a single and a home run. Home run for Jones in the 5th inning. It's 22nd of the year. 76th run batted in. Butcher coming out, talking strategy here. Jones is the one guy that has been a constant all season long offensively for Baltimore. Both offensively and defensively, even though he committed the error back in the 6th inning and then base hit by Mark Trumbo. Did not lead to a run as Trumbo was stranded at 3rd.
And you wonder, because of Scott Downs threw as many pitches as he did last night, and Mike Sosa tried to potentially get a 4-out save for Jordan Walden down and out of the bullpen. Really, Mike Sosa would love to see Kazval run that fastball in on the hands of Adam Jones to get a ground ball in the infield, get a double play. He's hitting to 13 of them this season.
That's in time for ball 1. Bobby threw a double play ball to end the 7th. J.J. Hardy at the plate. Down at his kitchen there. 1 ball, 1 strike.
That good hard running fastball for Bobby Kazval in a right-handed batter's hands.
Orioles have action in their bullpen. Jim Johnson, the right-hander, loosening, coming on at the bottom of the 8th, I would imagine. He's a guy that might experiment with, pardon me, later on as a starter the rest of the way. That pitch is way inside. 2 balls and a strike. They like the stuff that Johnson possesses, but the struggles that they've had in their rotation they like. Might as well give him an opportunity for the next 5-6 weeks.
And he has a power arm, that's for sure.
Markakis standing at first. Nobody out here in the 8th. 2-1 pitch of Jones. A ground ball through the left side. A base hit. A seeing eye single. Markakis is going to round second, head to 3rd. Jones will stop at first. So first and 3rd with nobody out here. And Vladimir Guerrero coming to the plate.
Number 27.
He was able to run that fastball in. Just gets by Callaspo at third base.
And Trout alertly getting that ball into second base, keeping Jones at first. So Vladimir Guerrero at the plate, 1 for 3. Base hit back in the first inning. Base hit by Markakis and Jones, giving the Orioles 12 knocks on the night.
Jones with 10 stolen bases in 11 attempts.
Vladdy chopping this one to short. Ibar lays back on it. His only plays to first. The run scores, and it's 6-5. Kind of a in-between do-or-die situation there for Eric Ibar there. Guerrero picks up an RBI on the ground out. Appears that's going to be it for Cazavar. Walden's ready to go. We've got ourselves a pitching change. We're here in the 8th. With 1 out and a man in scoring position, the Angels up by the score of 6-5. On in relief here, looking for the 5-out save. He comes off with 1 out and a man in scoring position. He'll be facing Matt Wieters. 50th game of the year for the rookie. 3-3 at 2.87 ERA.
It's been a while since Jordan's been out there, since August 14th last time. And commanding the fastball, not overthrowing. And we've talked about it a number of times, utilizing his slider. It's very good when he doesn't overthrow that pitch. Also an occasional changeup.
Bobby Cazavar, 1 1/3. No strikeouts, no walks, 2 hits allowed. It's allowed 1 run. He's responsible for Jones standing at second base. There's Matt Wieters, the catcher, who's 1 for 3. Base hit back in the 3rd inning. First pitch swinging, line center field. That's a base hit. Borges is not going to have a play on Jones, and the throw allows Wieters to try to get to second base, and he has come down. Nice play by Hank Conger. The Peters throw sailing, and this game is tied at 6. Walden going first pitch fastball. And Wieters picks up the RBI, his 42nd, to draw 2 outs.
Well, you're not going to be able to get Jones scoring on that too good a speed, but fortunately enough, Conger was able to come back and make that throw. Got a good call at second base.
So 2 outs, the base is clear. Here's Mark Reynolds, the first baseman. First pitch, fouls it back. Reynolds tonight 1 for 3, a single and a run scored in the second. Breaking pitch outside. That's been the one thing for Jordan of late, especially that slider, unable to even throw it for a strike and get it over breaking pitch that he had really going early on in the season.
Because if you can establish that for a strike early, then you're going to get hitters to swing at that pitch out of the strike zone like that.
A little bit better there, and it's 1-2 on Reynolds. Only been 2 strikeouts in this game, both by Josh Bell off Joel Pinheiro. Here's the 1-2. Breaking pitch in the dirt. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
He was pulling through that pitch. You made a very good pitch in the slider of the pitch before. You don't have to try to be perfect. If you go away like that, it's a very difficult pitch for a right-handed batter, especially knowing that Walden can throw 97 to 100 miles an hour. So he's gearing up for the fastball. That's going to get by with a good break to it.
Fastball got him looking down goes Reynolds. The inning comes to an end as Baltimore ties things up with 2 runs on 3 hits into the bottom of the 8th inning, knotted up at 6.
So far, first the bat base hit, then it'll flare in the right field for a double, then an 11 line drive, base hit up the middle. 3 hits, a double, and an RBI so far in the game for Mark Trumbo. Due up second here in the bottom of the 8th inning.
New pitcher on for Baltimore here in the bottom of the 8th, tied at 6. Jim Johnson takes over from Mike Gonzalez, who went 2/3 of an inning, had a couple of fly ball outs. Johnson here in the 8th inning to face Hunter, Trumbo, and Kendrick. Scheduled 3 guys. 52nd game for Johnson.
Yeah, good numbers. ERA under 3 at 2.97. Fastball 90 to 95. Curveball and a changeup. Curveball is very good pitch. Above average fastball also.
Torrey Hunter tonight 1 for 3. Base hit back into second. First pitch is in for a strike. Off the plate, evens the count at 1 ball, 1 strike. Johnson started off slowly. ERA in the low 5s, but he has been terrific over the last couple of months. That's up and away. 2 balls and 1 strike. Leads American League relievers with 66 2/3 innings pitched.
Very good as far as keeping it in the ballpark too. He's only allowed 3 home runs.
Pretty nasty pitch down and in. 2-2.
All 4 pitches at 94 miles an hour, but that one had great sink and run action.
Two pitch. That's down and away. Full count. Hunter, Trumbo, and Kendrick here in the 8th inning for the Angels. Here's the payoff pitch. Torrey takes that pitch down and in. The leadoff man is on board via the walk. The first of the game for either side. Trumbo 3 for 3. 2 singles and an RBI double. Reimel deep in left. Markakis deep in right. Jones shallow in center. As always, Josh Bell playing in at third. First pitch. Outside. 1 ball, no strikes. Halos were down at 1 point, 3-0. Battled back to take the lead, 5-3. Orioles with a solo run in the 5th. The Angels with a solo run in the 7th. Baltimore tying things up at 6 with 2 runs in the top of this 8th inning. That's downstairs. 2 balls and no strikes.
Now, if you're Mark Trumbo, you can afford to be patient here. Try to get a pitch up. You head the count. Look for that good fastball to drive. Otherwise, let it go.
The Angels with an opportunity to pick up a game on Texas, having lost earlier tonight. The 2-0 takes a fastball right down the pipe, 2-1. Torrey Hunter with a leadoff walk stands at first. Bell dropping back at third base. The 2-1 pitch. Chases that one and taps it foul. 2-2.
A lot of times when a hitter gets a pitch, he regrets not going after that 2-0 fastball. Then you're going to expand your strike zone and chase the pitch out of the strike zone. That's what Trumbo did there. Go fastball inside. He's going to try to stay on top, try to sink it.
2-2, ground ball to short. Harding feeds Andino. Relays in time, a double play, 2 outs. So 2 outs and nobody on for Howie Kendrick. Howie's 1 for 2. RBI double in the 3rd inning. Also been hit by a pitch. Hit a fly ball to right. Breaking pitch slipping out of the hand of Johnson over the head of Howie. It's 1 ball, no strikes. Baltimore in the 9th inning with Andino, Reimel, and Bell. 7, 8, 9 due up against Jordan Walters. That pitch is in at the knees. 1 ball, 1 strike. Bobby Kazavok giving up the 2 runs in an inning and a third. Giving up 2 hits. One ball, 2 strikes. Two and two, but you really see Johnson, the tall guy, good sinking fastball, could probably really get on top of that pitch, especially when he's trying to get in on a right-hander.
Yeah, he gets those fingers right on top of the baseball and tries to work downhill with that pitch.
A full count now. That one at 96 miles an hour. Eric Ibar on deck. Called strike 3 on the outside corner. Howie goes down looking, and the 8th comes to an end. 8 complete here at the Big A. We are tied at 6. As the Angels are taking on the White Sox on Tuesday and Wednesday. On Tuesday, however, all fans in attendance will receive the Rally Monkey Chia bet while supplies last. Purchase your tickets today at the Angels Stadium ticket office or logging on at angels.com. Jordan Walden back out for the 9th inning. He'll be facing Robert Andino, Nolan Reimold, and Josh Bell. Robert Andino, the second baseman, 1 for 3. A single and a run scored in the second. So the fastball downstairs. Walden falls behind here. 2 balls and no strikes. Three balls and no strikes.
And Andino's the guy, one of the few guys on this Oriole team that will run. 6 stolen bases this year in 8 attempts. Ball behind the count, 3-0 now.
3-1. Nolan Reimold, the left fielder, on deck. Josh Bell to follow. No action in the Orioles bullpen. Jim Johnson has gone multiple innings, multiple times this year. 3-1 pitches on the corner, full count. Kevin Gregg, the guy who Buck Showalter's been using to close games, pitched last night with 1 inning. Gave up a run, including a home run. That was to Mike Trout. 3-2. Walked him. Leadoff man is on via the walk.
Number 14, left fielder Nolan Reimold.
So that'll bring up Nolan Reimold, the left fielder. 2 for 3. 2 singles and an RBI. Fly ball to center.
More than likely be asked to bunt here. A lot of times that step off is for design to see if you can pick up if he is going to square around the bunt, and he showed he was going around to attempt a bunt.
Only 16 sacrifices this year for the Orioles. Andino has 7 of them. Pitch out. Andino's taking off. The throw down from Conger is not in time. Stolen base on the pitch out, and Andino's in scoring position.
Throw up second base side as he tried to apply the tag on the back of the foot of Andino as he head first slide in there, pretty close before the hand got in there. Looked like he might have got him.
2 balls and no strikes. Isanori Takahashi back up and loosening. The 2-0. Foul tipped. It's 2 balls and a strike. Two-1. Andino takes off. This one lofted in the air to shallow center. Andino has to head back to second base. 1 out.
Well, he had a huge jump at second base. Warner's got to vary his looks back to second base to keep him close. Well, he's halfway to third base before the baseball is delivered.
So Andino still at second. 1 out now. Here's Josh Bell, the third baseman. 2 strikeouts at a fielder's choice. An 0 for 3 night. Off speed pitch.
Changeup.
Yeah. 1 ball, no strikes. 17 pitches thrown by Walden so far. 9 balls, 8 strikes. 1 total inning of work. Came on with 1 out in the 8th inning. Here's the 1-0. 1-1. Kevin Gregg is up and loosening now. Getting ready to loosen. Foul off to the left. And a 1-2 count. Baltimore with 6 runs on 13 hits. 1 error, 3 left on. The Angels 6 runs, 10 hits, no errors, and 3 left on. Only other game in the American League, but still ongoing. Actually, for all of baseball. Oakland leading Toronto in the 9th, 5-1. A couple of glances back in the 1-2. Breaking pitch, got him looking down. Goes Bell, 2 outs.
Oh, nice slider by Jordan Walden on that one. Freezes Bell. After being late on the fastball the pitch before. The slider in the inside corner at 83.
So J.J. Hardy, leadoff man at shortstop, steps in. 1 for 4. With Andino representing the go-ahead run in scoring position. Hardy had an RBI double in the 2nd. Breaking pitch, strike on the outside corner. And maybe that 1 pitch to Josh Bell, slider-wise, giving Jordan a little confidence throwing that pitch.
Yeah, not overthrowing it, trusting the break.
Fastball just off the plate. 1 ball, 1 strike. Andino reaching on the leadoff walk here in the 9th inning, stealing second base. 1-1 pitch. Fastball popped up Got a play on the first base side.
Well, now you wonder if we'll go back to the slider now. Look at that fastball. Good location for that pitch right on the outside corner at the knees. Now, if you're comfortable enough to throw a slider now, you could start at that exact same plane and break it off the plate. You should be able to get a punch out.
Halos in the bottom of the ninth had the bottom third of the order up. Ibar, Trout, and Conger. 1-2 pitch. Breaking pitch. It's 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Right idea, just overthrew that slider, end up backing up on him.
Two-two. Overdoing that one a little bit, trying to get him to chase. To full count now with Markakis on deck. Here comes a 3-2. Breaking pitch, ground ball towards short. Ibar comes charging in, gets rid of it quickly. The inning comes to an end. No runs, no hits. The Orioles leave a man in scoring position. We head to the bottom of the ninth. Ibar, Trout, and Conger with this game tied at 6. Tied at 6, Eric Ibar set to lead things off here against Jim Johnson. Pitched a scoreless 8th inning. Actually led off that 8th inning by walking Torrey Hunter, but got Mark Trumbull to roll into a double play, and then struck out Howie Kendrick to end the 8th.
You might see Eric Ibar thinking in terms of maybe laying down a bunt, get on base, get this thing rolling here in the 9th inning, bottom of the 9th.
Josh Bell playing in on the grass at third base. Ibar bunts it right back to Johnson. So Ibar 0 for 4.
Tried to bring that with him, get it by the pitcher, and force Andino to make that play at second base. And get it where he wanted to put it.
There's Mike Trout 0 for 3. 2 ground outs and a fly ball out. Looks at a fastball downstairs. Takes a strike to even the count. Trout lines out to center field. Jones is there, makes the catch. 2 outs.
The fact that Adam Jones plays a shallow center field, was in position to make that play. Well hit by Mike Trout. Adam Jones very good as far as when he's concentrating on the baseball, making a play and covering a lot of ground in that position.
So 2 outs and nobody on for Hank Conger. Hank swings, loops one out to shallow center field. Hardy going out, Jones coming in. The inning very quietly and easily comes to an end. We are heading into free baseball territory as this game is kind of close. Tenth inning, and here in the 10th, Hisanori Takahashi takes over on the mound for Jordan Walden, who went an inning and 2/3. Takahashi pitching in his 48th game, a 3-2 record, a 3.93 ERA.
Takahashi with a good fastball, sinks it, 88 to 90, good sweeping slider, very good changeup also. Facing right that big part of the lineup for the Orioles with Markakis, Adam Jones, and of course Vlad Guerrero after that.
Tak pitched 1 inning. That was back on Monday. And in that 1 inning, Tak gave up 4 runs on 3 hits and 1 strikeout. Markakis, Jones, and Guerrero. That's 2, 3, and 4 for the Orioles. They've racked out 13 hits tonight. Nine against the starter Joel Pinheiro, 3 against Bobby Cazavo. Gave up the 2 runs in an inning and a third, and then Jordan Walden gave up 1 hit in an inning and 2/3 of scoreless baseball. Markakis 2 for 4, a couple of singles. Hit the base hit off Cazavo in the 8th inning, came around to score 1 of the 2 runs that tied this game up. Nineteenth extra inning game for the Angels this year. The Halos are 7 and 11. Free baseball is played. This one lined to center field, a leadoff knock. 3rd hit of the game for Markakis. To give you an idea of how the scoring kind of came to be, the Orioles up 3-0. The Angels had one of the second. But in the 3rd, scored 4 times on 5 hits, including Bobby Bear's 2 RBI double. But Kendrick doubled home Mark Trumbull. At that point, the Angels taking a 5-3 lead. The Halos with a 6-4 lead in the 8th inning. That was Matt Peters with the base hit that tied things up. Jordan Walden. That's where we stand right now. Tied at 6. Leadoff man is on board. Adam Jones at the plate. Takes the breaking ball down and in. Jones has had a 3-hit game, 2 singles, and a home run. It's 2 balls and no strikes. Jones pulls out with foul. Out in front of the off-speed pitch.
And that's the ability Takahashi has in a fastball count. Adam Jones thinking in his terms he's going to get a fastball to drive, a changeup, and pulls it foul. See if we can back that up, turn it over a fastball down and away, get a ground ball.
Throw to first. Markakis easily back. A very big lead for Markakis. Swing and a miss. Pulled the string on him. It's 2-2.
A great job on that all-speed pitch. Turned that one over too at 79.
I think you got to go back that way again at 2-2. They try to go to the fastball outside. It's a full count.
Yeah, I mean, when you throw two perfect changeups like that, there's a lot of times you'll see a guy who has a good changeup will go back to back with that pitch. You think he's going to come back now after a fastball just off the outside corner with that exact changeup now.
This one out toward left field. Mike Trout coming on it toward the foul line, and they'll make the catch. Markakis is not going anywhere. Trout gets the baseball back in, a 1 out.
Did get him out just enough in front of that changeup. Trout was able to track that one down.
Guerrero 1 for 4. Had the RBI ground out. There's that chopper to Eric Ibar. Thought for a moment there was a potential for a double play ball, but Eric opted to get the out at first base. The run scored. It allowed Jones to get into scoring position. Jones subsequently scoring on the base hit by Wieters to tie this game up. The RBI for Guerrero, his 44th. Way outside. It's 1 ball, no strikes.
It wasn't an easy baseball to catch for Hank Conger. That ball was well off the plate.
Yep. Foul and out of play to the right side. 1 ball, 1 strike. Now looking back to the bottom of the 9th inning, the one thing that did not occur is that the pitch count for Jim Johnson did not go up. Very easy and very quick. Bottom of the 9th inning, and assuming the score holds and we're tied as we head to the bottom of the inning, Buck Showalter has the luxury of bringing Johnson back out, who has faced the minimum 6 courtesy of the double play ball that we got in the 8th.
Maybe their best pitcher they have in the staff, especially out of the bullpen.
2 balls and 1 strike. They used Willie Air last night. Birkin's been dealing with some arm problems lately. Kevin Gregg's their closer. Bergeson pitched last night. They have Troy Patton, the left-hander. We've got an 8-man pen. The 2-1 pitch.
It's 2-2. And you got a hitter that's up there hacking and guessing along with a fastball there. Another good changeup in a fastball count. Try to back it up with the sinker away.
2-2. Just missed off the plate, a full count. There's Wieters on deck, the switch hitter.
Well, you wonder if Buck Showalter will have Markakis run here. Vlad hits him in a lot of double plays.
Doesn't go. The 3-2 bounced over toward third. Cayasco has it. Feeds catches for one. Wheeler to first. In time. And a running double play. No runs, a hit. Nobody left on. We head to the bottom of the 10th. The Angels have the top of the order coming up. Peter Borges, Alberto Cayasco, and Bobby Abreu. With this score tied at 6. By Hisanori Takahashi, gave up that leadoff single to Nick Markakis for getting the double play off the bat of Vladimir Guerrero to keep this a tie game. Peter Borges to lead things off here against Jim Johnson, working his third inning. With one walk, one strikeout. Peter tonight 2 for 4, single and a home run. He's also hit a fly ball to center and popped out to third. Bell in on the grass at third base. Reynolds in at first. Fastball was in for a strike. Oh, one pitch. Breaking pitch way outside. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Likely to come in with that fastball inside now. Try to run that 2-seamer in. Bell playing in. If he can hit it by him, it's going to be a sure double.
Check swing. Pitch missed inside. Did he go? Nope. Erwin Campbell, who will be behind the plate tomorrow afternoon. Changer did not go. It's 2 balls and 1 strike. On the corner. 2-2. Two on a way. In tight. Full count. We've seen at times his pitches in like that on Borges, where he gets grazed on the forearm, the elbow.
And he doesn't give in because he's looking out over the plate. He's not going to give away that part of the plate. But take one for the team, get on base.
Trying to get that leadoff man on board. The 3-2. It's a fastball. 12 strike 3. 1 out. Peter looking for the off-speed pitch. Johnson delivers the fastball.
Pretty good spot with that fastball, too. Heart of the plate, at the knees.
So 1 out, nobody on for Alberto Cayasco. 1 for 4 game. Single and a run scored in the third. No balls and 1 strike. Johnson thrown a total of 29 pitches. 2 1/3.
A lot of life in that fastball. Whether he's throwing inside for a righty, inside of a lefty, away.
Down and in, 2-1. Guy, too, that works very quickly. When he's had to throw a strike, he's been able to do it. So look at his splits tonight as far as strikes and balls, right down the middle almost. Fastball rolls over this one. 2 outs. So 2 outs and nobody on, and Bobby Abreu coming to the plate. Bobby a 2 for 4 game with a double and a single. 2 runs batted in. He's got 47 runs batted in on the year.
And a good hack at a first pitch early in the ball game. Johnson's been throwing a lot of first pitch fastballs, trying to split the plate to get ahead of the count.
0-1. If we head to the 11th, it'll be Hisanori Takahashi back out for another inning. Wieters, Reynolds, and Andino due up for Baltimore. One ball, 1 strike. Baltimore tying things up with 2 runs in the top of the 8th inning. It's been since then tied at 6. The Angels have had 1 base runner in the last 2+ innings. That was the walk of Torrey in the 8th. This one lined 1 hopper actually to Andino. It's a 1-2-3 inning as the Angels go down in order. We head to the 11th, tied at 6. Sports Game Connect, the ultimate online experience for fans. Log on to take part of the most interactive forum during Angels games. You can even share your thoughts with the game broadcast. Fox Sports Game Connect now available at foxsportswest.com. Here in the 11th, Matt Wieters will lead things off, followed by Mark Reynolds and then Robert Andino. It's Hisanori Takahashi. Gave up a base hit in the 10th inning, got a fly ball off the bat of Adam Jones in that double play ball that ended the 10th, courtesy of Vladimir Guerrero. Waiters fouls off the first pitch. It's no ball and 1 strike. No 1 pitch. That is pulled into left field. Trout's not going to get this one. It falls in for a hit. Mike over to cut it off. Waiters will stop it first. Nice job by Mike, and it's a leadoff single for the 2nd consecutive inning for Baltimore.
Number 12, first baseman,
Chris Jakubowskis got the first thing down. With Johnson done after 3 innings. There's Mark Reynolds, the first baseman. He's 1 for 4, showing bunt. Drops a beauty down. Takahashi throws to second, and they get the 4-shot. 1 out. Weeder's retired.
Well, Takahashi's very quick, especially with the decision making, and to be able to make that throw to second base.
number 11, second baseman.
Turn around and spins and makes a good throw to second to get the force out.
Here comes Robert Andino with 1 out and a man at first. Andino 1 for 3 with a single and a run scored in the 2nd. Breaking pitch is in for a strike. Oh, 1 pitch. Dino slices it foul and out of play. No balls, 2 strikes. 43,201 in the house tonight. And Mercy Me just hanging out. They can't wait to come out. Play the concert, post-game concert. Hanging out for it?
Yeah, I might hang for a little bit.
Yeah. Breaking pitch down low. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Toc's thrown 20 pitches, 12 strikes. Reynolds leading off over at first base. A throw over there just to check in on him. Halo's playing Andino the opposite way as he pulls this one toward third. Cayasco feeds Kendrick for 1. A reload in time and another double play. 4th turn by the Angels tonight. Hit at the bottom of the 11th. Torrey Hunter, Mark Trumbo, Howie Kendrick. This game tied at 6. And take a look at the standings in the American League West. The Halos with an opportunity to pick up a game on Texas, who lost earlier tonight to the Chicago White Sox. So a very important game today.
These are the games you have to have. Pull off and pick up a full game on the Rangers, who lost in Chicago.
Chris Jakubowskis is the new right-hander on for Buck Showalter and Baltimore. Takes over for Jim Johnson, who went a solid 3 innings. No runs, no hits, 2 strikeouts, and a walk for Johnson.
Yeah, Jakubowskis is one of those guys with a pretty good sinking fastball, 89-93. Also will throw a slider, curve, and a changeup.
Torrey Hunter to lead things off here, 1 for 3. Torrey had that leadoff walk in the 8th inning off Johnson, but then as he raced on the double play ball, the Trumbo hit him too. The Orioles have out hit the Angels 15-10. Breaking pitch is foul, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike with a hanging breaking pitch by Jakubowskis.
Yeah, I think it got that the speed of that pitch at 77 miles an hour got Torrey out in front enough for Torrey to foul that one off.
Ground ball to second. Andino has it. 1 out.
Number 44.
The Angels now, after that walk to Torrey Hunter to lead off the 8th inning, have been sat down 9 consecutive times. Mark Trumbo at the plate, a 3 for 4 night. 2 singles and a double. An RBI. Swings first pitch and fouls it back. This is what he did on Thursday against the Texas Rangers. Game-winning home run, a 2-run shot in the 9th inning off Mike Adams.
A pretty good pitch to hit. First pitch here too.
23rd of the year. 1 ball, 1 strike. Fouls back to 1-1 pitch, 1-2 now. Getting in on the hands of Trumbo at 91 miles per hour.
Terms he might go with a curveball now.
Howie Kendrick on deck. Fastball got him looking. 2 outs.
Went with a fastball. Split the plate again.
There's only been 3 strikeouts in this game by Orioles pitching. All 3 have been looking, and all 3 on fastballs. Now he takes a strike. No balls, 2 strikes. Takahashi, it appears, will be coming back out for his 3rd inning of work if we get to the 12th. Now a ground ball to short. Hardy has it. Angels go down in order once again. 11 in the book, still tied at 6. Don't miss tomorrow's edition of Boys in the Hall as Tom Brokaw looks at the career of Larry Doby. Boys in the Hall, Larry Doby, tomorrow, 6:30 on Fox Sports West. Doc is back out there. This will be his third inning of work. The first two have ended via the double play ball. He got Guerrero to end the 10th that way, and he got Andino to roll into a double play in the 11th. The Angels have turned 4 double plays tonight. The Orioles have turned 3. Nolan Reimel, Josh Bell, J.J. Hardy, 8, 9, and 1 do it for the Fighting Showalters. Reimel fouls back the first pitch. Nolan Reimel tonight, 2 for 4 with a couple of singles, an RBI, and a run scored. Count is even now, 1 ball, 1 strike. Didn't miss by much. It's 2 balls and 1 strike.
Yeah, it was pretty close to a strike when it crossed the plate. And it was a strike.
Yeah, it was.
When it crossed the plate.
2-1 on its way. Ground ball to short. Ibar has it. Reimel for a big guy gets down the line.
And he was pretty quick.
Big dude that's got good pop. Getting down the line there. There's the first out to start the 12th. First time that Taka's retired the leadoff man. Markakis with a leadoff single in the 10th. Wieters did the same in the 11th. So 1 out, nobody on for Josh Bell. Hitless tonight, 0 for 4. The bottom of the 12th inning, the Angels have Ibar, Trout, and Conger to face Jakubowskis. Assuming the score remains tied at 6. Bell takes outside. 1 ball, no strikes. Bell, originally in the Dodgers system, was part of that deal with Baltimore. Sent George Sherrill, reliever, to the Dodgers. Going to miss, off-speed pitch. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Well, Takahashi's been so effective throwing his changeup in a fastball count. Reimel to roll over on that pitch. Ibar gets Bell to swing over the top of that one also.
Strike zone has changed all of a sudden by Dana DeMuth. It's 2 balls and 1 strike. Top of the order, and J.J. Hardy on deck. 2-1. Bell takes a strike, 2-2. Two on its way. Off speed. Full count. Payoff pitch. Missed down low, and that's a 1-out walk.
Try to get him to chase that changeup once again. Bell did not go after it. Hardy with 3 strikeouts on the game did not chase that pitch out of the strike zone.
Here's J.J. Hardy, the shortstop, 1 for 5. RBI double back in the second. Outfield playing Hardy straight up. Off-speed pitch is in for strike 1. Hardy lines with the center field, a base hit. Bell will stop at second. And so the Orioles have runners at first and second with 1 out here. Markakis coming up. Second hit of the night for
Number 21.
J.J. Hardy.
Fielder, Nick
Great
Martinez.
back up the middle approach for Hardy.
Mike Butcher out to pay a visit. Markakis tonight has a 3-hit game, as does Adam Jones, Matt Wieters. Fernando Rodney starting to play catch. Kevin Gregg now up and loosening for Baltimore. Three for 5 game for Nick Markakis. Picked up his 58th run, bounded in, back in his second inning. One out walk to Josh Bell. He stands at second base. Hardy with the base hit stands at first. Nobody cutting in on the spin move. Lays off the breaking pitch, foul tipped. Then the Demuth brings up the strike, and it's 0-1. Of the 34 pitches that Takahashi's thrown tonight, 20 have been strikes, 14 balls. No 1 pitch. This one lifted in the air. First base shot, infield fly will could be called, and Kerwin Danley does make the call. So 2 outs.
Well, that was a pitch that was up. Markakis pretty upset with himself not getting that pitch.
Number 10.
Got underneath it.
Fielder, Adam Jones.
Takahashi got away with that one. You can see the reaction. Upset with himself, had a really good pitch to hit.
Still work to be done with Adam Jones coming to the plate. The Orioles have had base runners aplenty from the 7th inning on. Has not been the case for the Angels. Kind of quiet offensively since the 3rd inning, and that's going to be it for Takahashi. Fernando Rodney's going to get called upon here. Go right-hander versus right-hander. So we've got ourselves a pitching change. Nice job by Takahashi through 2 2/3. We're in the 12th, tied at 6. On 2 outs here. Adam Jones is the guy who's at the plate. This is what happened as he was stepping up. I think he'd taken exception to Mike Scioscia making a move here, as if the Angels are going to go ahead and leave the left-hander in to face Jones.
Yeah, I think, obviously for wishful thinking maybe. That's the move you generally make.
Yeah, did he
at
not
the back
expect
end of a game, extra innings? It's going to be righty versus righty.
Fernando Rodney pitching in his 35th game. He pitched last night. Went 1 inning, struck out a man, walked a man. No runs, no hits. Got a double play ball. Looking to get that 3rd out here. At the bottom of the 12th inning, we pointed out the Angels will have Ibar, Trout, and Conger. The bottom 3rd. So Jones steps to the plate. Josh Bell standing at second base, representing the go-ahead run. J.J. Hardy's at first. Three for 5 tonight. 2 singles and a home run. 2 runs scored. The home run, his 22nd. That was back in the 5th inning off Pinheiro. There's the ball that Trout almost caught. It'll go off his glove. Outfield straight up at normal depth against Jones. Good power. First fastball is down low for ball 1. Vladimir Guerrero is on deck. The 1-0 pitch. Jones ground ball, base hit to right field. Being waved around as Bell. Torrey up with it, fires it home. It's up the line. The run scores, and the ball gets away from Conger. 2 runs will come in, and the Orioles are on top 8-6.
And Rodney's supposed to be behind the catcher for the backup in case the throw is away from the catcher.
So Adam Jones picks up his 4th hit. And it's the go-ahead run.
Torrey charges that throw just up the third base line.
Rodney just sitting there watching it.
He's supposed to be backing up to prevent this from happening. It becomes, instead of this, a 1-run deficit, now it's a 2-run deficit.
He almost got in the way of the throw. Vladdy fouls this one back off the mask of Dana DeMuth, and it's 0-1. One RBI for Adam Jones, the other coming in on the error, and I guess Torrey gets charged with that error. That'll be Torrey's 2nd of the year. Jones ends up at 3rd base. This one out to right field. Torrey giving chase. He's over there. Makes the catch, but Baltimore scores twice here in the 12th. We hit at the bottom of the 12th. The Halos will be facing Kevin Gregg with the bottom 3rd of the order coming up, down 8-6. 12th inning, leads it 8-6. Kevin Gregg comes on in relief for the Orioles. Their closer pitched last night, gave up a run on the home run to Mike Trout. They'll be facing Eric Ibar, Mike Trout, and Hank Conger here in the bottom of the 12th.
Kevin Gregg really good fastball, though, but he's the guy that can give up some runs when you get a pitch out over the plate. Not a lot of movement. He does have a good split finger fastball, but that's a gift run given up by not backing up home plate.
Exactly what I was going to get to.
You can't give up another run. One run is manageable because if you get a guy on base, you can bunt him over. There's so many things you can do, but a 2-run deficit, especially against a quality closer, makes it that much more difficult to come back.
Breaking pitch to Ibar's in for a strike. Eric tonight 0 for 4. Oh, 1 pitch. Outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. The Orioles with 17 hits. They got 2 in the 8th to tie things up. 2 in the 12th to take an 8-6 lead. Halos in jeopardy of not gaining any ground. 1-1 pitch. Ibar fouls it off. 1-2. One-two on its way. Ibar fouls it back. Gregg's 1-2, and that is outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Last base runner the Angels had was a walk to Torrey in the 8th inning. Jim Johnson, 3 scoreless innings of relief. Chris Jakubowski, 1 scoreless inning of relief. Ibar grounds this one through on the right side of base hit. So the leadoff single to start the bottom of the 12th puts a man on, and Mike Trout coming to the plate.
Number 27, left fielder,
Trout 0 for 4. Ground out a couple of times, a couple of fly ball outs. Breaking pitch, a little bit high, and it's 1 ball, no strikes. And Conger on deck, then back to the top of the order, and Peter Borges.
Kevin Gregg remembered the fact that Mike Trout hit a fastball out of the ballpark, starts off with an all-speed pitch.
And it's 2 balls and no strikes.
Followed by another all-speed pitch.
Two and 1.
Into a 2-0 curveball. See if he comes with another all-speed pitch. Put down the curveball once again.
2-1. That one got him. So the Angels have 2 men on, with nobody out here in the 12th. And Conger coming to the plate.
Got it underneath that curveball. And Conger think Mike Scioscia will put the bunt on right now. A lot of speed. out there on the bases. Eric Ibar and Mike Trout can fly.
And go for 4. 3 fly ball outs and a ground out. Ibar at second base. Trout at first. Mike representing the tying run. Conger showing bunt. Bunts it on the third base side. A beautiful bunt. Bell throws it away. 1 runner's in. Trout over to third, and it's a 1-run game. 8-7 Baltimore. And Mark Reynolds, the first baseman, shaken up. Hank Conger might be shaken up.
And great base running, too, by Trout to get to third base.
And they're going to pitch run for Hank Conger with Vernon Wells.
That was a pretty good collision. 2 big guys at first base. Good job, though, by Hank Conger. Perfect bunt. Force the third baseman to field the baseball. That's what you want. That way you've taken away the opportunity of getting that force at third.
Buck Showalter's going to talk things over with Greg quickly. Reynolds is all right. The entire infield is coming in. Credit Hank Conger with a sacrifice, an error on Josh Bell, the third baseman, his third. So still nobody out here. And Wells now representing the winning run, standing at first base. Great bunt down the line.
And hustle down the line. A lot of time when a guy gets a good bunt down like that, they're just kind of cruising to first. But ran hard, and then a collision with Reynolds at first base is safe. And a great base running by Trout to get to third base. Buck Showalter probably made sure Kevin Gregg was aware of the fact is that Mike Scioscia is not afraid to put a squeeze on, especially with the speed at third and the speed at the plate.
How big is that 1 run now? Not backing up home plate. There's Peter Borges. Infield halfway. Borges grounds one. Diving stop by the third baseman, and Borges lays it out. That's an infield base hit. What a play by Josh Bell. Buck Showalter's going to come out and argue with Kerwin Danley. But the mere fact that the Angels, who more times than not are going on contact, it caught Josh Bell's attention just enough for Borges to leg it out.
Boy, gas going down the line as quick as can be. Beats that infield hit out. Ball was hit well. Bell made a great play on it. But just that slight thought process of, are they going to go home on contact? Allows Peter Borges to be safe. Bases loaded now.
How many times have we seen throughout the years going on contact at third base? And Trout came down for a second. That one hesitation by Bell. The play at first. And the Angels may have gotten the benefit of the doubt. Bases loaded, nobody out. And Kayasma takes inside for ball 1. Mike Trout standing at third base represents the tying run. Vernon Wells, the pinch runner at second, the winning run. Kayasma tonight 1 for 5. Lays off the breaking pitch, 2 balls and no strikes. Outfield shallow all the way around for Baltimore. Infield in. Here's the 2-0. Takes a strike, 2-1. Bobby Abreu, the DH, is on deck. Two-one pitch. Inside, 3 balls and a strike. Almost got him.
Boy, be patient if you're Kayasma. Kevin Gregg had a tough time keeping that pitch even close to the strike. So a lot of movement. Center in an area. Get that fly ball across at the very least deep in the outfield. But you don't have to chase.
3-1 pitch. Outside, we're tied up at 8. Kevin Gregg has walked in the tying run, the winning run now at third base. That's Vernon Wells. Kayasma with credit with an RBI.
Well, how tough is this for Kevin Gregg now? He's facing a guy with one of the best eyes in the game, period. He won't be chasing anything out of the strike zone for Bobby. Just looking for a pitch that he can get in the air.
That's going to be it for Kevin Gregg. The closer is out. Buck Showalter is going to go to Troy Patton, the left-hander. So Kevin Gregg faces 5 batters here in the 12th, does not retire one, and certainly let down by his defense. We're tied at 8 with the bases loaded and nobody out. Scored twice here in the bottom of the 12th inning. You saw the diamond there. Bases full of Angels. Nobody out here in the 12th. Troy Patton, the left-hander, comes on to pitch in his 11th big league game this year. An 0-1 record, a 3.94 ERA. Facing Bobby Abreu, the left-handed DH. Vernon Wells is over at third base. He's the pinch runner and the winning run. Borges at second. And Cayaspo, who just drew the walk to tie the game, is over at first. Infield in, as is the outfield. Patton's first pitch, upstairs, 1 ball, no strikes.
And that's the kind of pitch that Bobby's looking for, a fastball, upper part of the strike zone so he can get that ball in the air.
43,000 plus in the house tonight. Trying to bring home a W. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Takes a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Good idea to leave off that pitch. That's a tough pitch. You could afford to take that pitch. You were ahead of the count 1-0.
Patton ready. Here comes the 1-1. Bobby swings. This one at the straightaway center field. This should do it. Adam Jones will make the catch, and Vernon Wells will come on home. Light that baby up as the Angels come from behind in the 12th and win it 9-8.
Boy, what a fantastic comeback victory after giving up that lead and then, of course, giving up 2 runs. In the top of the 12th, the offense comes right back and picks up the pitching staff. What a job by Bobby Abreu, but Hank Conger did his job. Got that bunt down, ran hard down the line, and forced the bad throw. Eric Ibart starts it off with a base hit. Trout gets hit with a pitch. Great base running by the boat, but Bobby Abreu, what a game he had tonight. Had the big double, drove in 2, another base hit. Again, got that pitch up in the zone. and won the game.
And more importantly, the Angels do pick up a game in the American League West, now 5 back of the division-leading Texas Rangers. The Halos win it by the final of 9-8. Stick around. We'll talk with Bobby Abreu's Angels Live is coming up next.